That's the sound of our doorbell opening.
Yes.
So, Kyle, do not get mad at me. So, I went onto the internet and I found a mail order assassin before we started recording.
Okay.
And there he is, right there.
Where? Oh.
Yeah. So, you recognize this guy from our Halloween special. We've brought Rapred into the studio with us.
Yes, indeedy.
Yep. We
Well,
got
Hello, everybody. It's just me today, no character.
As the fan favorite character, Aput, he is here to weigh in on what we think of the Assamites.
Yep. He has told me how much he loves his clan and that he really wants to be a part of it, so he's here.
Yes, welcome.
Well, not that much. Don't
Yeah.
exaggerate it.
Yeah. I'm trying to play you up here.
Yeah, we're hyping you up, bro. Come on, you're excited about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I am. Don't
Yeah,
get me
'cause-
wrong.
yeah, because we've done a whole bunch of talking off camera about the Assamites themselves, and I told him, dude, you gotta check out First Edition when it comes to reading these books, because First Edition had a plan and it was going somewhere, and you said, well, what's wrong with Second Edition? And then I sent you Second Edition, and you found out just how dry of a read Second Edition is.
So what's the one that you sent me?
The one I sent you pages from Second Edition. I sent Rapred pictures from First.
And
Because
the second as well.
yeah, I sent you like the massive wall of text that's the Second Edition's history section. Good God, are the Assamites involved in history?
Well, yeah, they're in the
Oh,
Middle
yes.
East. They're in the middle of everything.
I mean, you want to talk about the bedrock of civilization? You had India that did a whole bunch of stuff for Asia. India didn't get to influence that much of Europe, but the Middle East absolutely. But you look at so much shit that we have today, and the idea probably originated from the Middle East. I mean, this is where Abraham, father of nations, comes from.
Yep.
So, yeah, you look at that whole Bible story, and yeah, you look at the story. If you want to say the Book of Genesis, the existence of that is Abraham's legacy and how he influenced and became the father of all these different nations. That's what we mean by that. That one text that influences so many different cultures. Even places that didn't really fully take on the religion are still influenced by it.
Oh yeah.
So we are talking about probably the most important peninsula in human history when it comes to the Assamites. Now, you might be wondering, where did these guys originate from? Persia. Iranian. You can imagine how fun it is to be an Assamite in the modern day. Especially with a conflict going on in a place that runs with Shmlaza, that we are going to try our best to keep out of our fucking mouths.
What is Aleppo?
Aleppo, that is a region that doesn't exist anymore in the area that was the Byzantine Empire.
Yes.
Yeah. And what is Alamut? The fictitious mountain where you have all these different Persian assassins hanging out. And
Eagle's Nest.
yeah, the Eagle's Nest is what that translates to. Thank you. And they are directly based off of the myth of the Hashashin. We can see turn the dirty deeds done cheap off. The Hashashin being this mythological group of, well, we'll just call them what the memes call them, Arabian ninjas, that go in, assassinate somebody, disappear without a trace. They're so good at their job, we can't really decide whether or not they're real.
Yeah. It's like
Can you
go ahead.
Can you imagine if the modern day Iranian government had access to that?
That'd be fucking scary. There'd be movies about that shit. About some like flabby dude from the CIA trying to fight like a fucking Assamite. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, find a guy like Simo Heiha, where Rapred knows who that guy is, and it's the Finnish sniper that put snow in his mouth and shot a ton of Russian soldiers.
Yep.
Like 500 something.
Yeah, you want to talk about a manslayer? That's
Thank you
The
for your
Fourth
service,
King.
Sima Haya. You rid the world of some more communists.
there we go. And this is that like the Simo that's the kind of assassin we're talking about. You have either of you played Hitman, the Hitman series?
I have it on the PS2, but I have not played it.
Unfortunately, no.
I'm gonna say, if you want to get into the Assamite mindset, that series is perfect. You go in, you kill the target, you get out, nobody knows you were there. That is the perfect way to operate as an Assamite.
That's what I was thinking when I was reading the book, in all honesty. It's like, this is
Yeah.
very Agent 47-esque.
Yeah. Same too, because just an entire segment in first edition about impersonating other clans. Because you have two different avenues you could go down with it. Is my audio distorted at all?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'll have Discord open in two different things because I'm also getting my notes.
Right.
There is the Hitman approach, where hello, there's Ryan right there. We're talking about Hitman.
Hello, Ryan.
You have the whole Hitman approach for the Assamites, where you're not missing too much, Ryan. You just came in. Where you, of course, could just run up with Celerity and Potence and Quietus and just mow a guy down in the middle of the street and then quickly get the hell out of there. Or you can do the death is a dish that's served cold kind of route and wait for a while and let the kill melt in your mouth. And when that absolute perfect opportunity to do the assassination comes up, you take it, and it's a perfect long game. Nobody even knows you were there. Nobody's going to believe that there was an assailant. It's going to look like a death by natural causes or a death on accident. Or if you're really good, a suicide.
You're as an Assamite, you exist on a spectrum from Agent 47 to Tony from Hotline Miami.
In fact, there was a period where a few vampire clans didn't even know this clan existed.
Damn.
Yeah, for a while they just thought it was a bloodline. And that is the perfect time. We begin with history. Rapred, who was Haqim in life?
Haqim was general. Was the leader of the army of the first city.
Yeah. The first city. Like, Cain's city that he built with his kids. Haqim was the badass. Think of Fenrir with the Geta Fenris. Haqim was that level of power, but as a human. Now, keep in mind, this is during the time of miracles, and I'm saying human Haqim probably could give Fenrir a pretty good fight if the two were born in the same time period.
True, but could he give Grim a fight?
He probably could. You gotta be like rank 5 or rank 4 to take on Haqim. Like, that's how fucking strong this dude was.
And
pure human too. No powers whatsoever. They also mention in first edition that there were 5 members of the second generation, and that blew my mind for a second because I said, like, Cain had 5 kids, but no, I figured out who they're talking about. They're talking about Ravnos and Anoia. I thought we had
maybe because in the first edition. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, there could have been like a drop.
Cain called King and Queen of the first city. That was said.
Oh, right, you're talking. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
That's why he said that's why the second edition.
Okay.
And
And Haqim was the guy who was fiercely loyal to the original king and queen before Enoch decided, I don't want a king and queen, I'm going to rule the city by myself. So, being the bulldozer parent that he is, Cain himself takes care of the king and queen of the first city. Much to the ire of Haqim.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And second. Yeah, in the first edition, Haqim killed the queen and king himself.
Yeah. And then takes the fight to Cain. Yeah, we have as usual with Vampire, we have like conflicting accounts with information. And either way, king and queen are dead, and Haqim's entire life is thrown up on its head. I mean, there went the 2 people that he spent his entire life serving. So, looking at the void that's in his life, he decides he's going to look at Cain and say, all of my problems originate from you. So he goes over, he gets in a fight with Cain, and of course, when you fight Cain, you lose. There's no winning that fight. You're going to lose every fight you go into with Cain. And what does Cain do? He sucks him dry, spitefully spits blood into Haqim's mouth, and then just throws him out to the desert, expecting him to die when the sun rises. And that would have been the end of our story had Hakim not had, I don't know, 5 background points and allies.
He was the general, and there was the army.
Yeah, he had men that were fiercely loyal to him, knew what he was going to do ahead of time. So when they found his body outside of the first city, they scooped it up, wrapped it in a tarp, put that tarp in a coffin, and then carried that all the way to the hidden mountain of Alamut, where it took months for Hakim to recover from his wounds. But by the time he was recovered, the dude was more than likely the strongest vampire to ever live once he comes out.
I have a theory. Hakim, I already told this to Johnny between days.
Yes.
I think Hakim, the second edition Hakim, was the Hunter to Reckoning guy. When Hunter gets imbued, it's like devotion to, we'll say, God. But I think in terms of Hakim was the people of Anshu, Enoch, depends on the first city. So Hakim, goes and fights Cain, the man who punched Malkavian so hard he gave him every mental illness. He split up Maximilian and make him ugly in every of his children, and scares off the Ravnus enemy. What was it?
Yeah.
Quajan.
Oh,
Yeah, the Quajan. Yeah.
And the man is face to face with him. He's a 1v1, bro. The man had the strongest will on the planet in that moment.
You gotta have stones if you're going up against Mr. You will seek death and death will evade you.
I mean, not stones, titanium.
Yeah.
Fucking brass cojones.
Yeah, so you do have a good idea here. He could have been the first imbued.
Yeah, because in first edition, when he fought Cain, when he killed the king and queen, he didn't. He killed himself technically by the dead blood of vampires. He killed himself to fight Cain. He loses, and then he becomes the full-fledged vampire.
Yeah, he goes over. He licks the blood off the ground, and then gets enough strength to at least not immediately die in this fight with Cain.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, Hakim eventually thinks to himself and thinks, wow, I really hate Cain. I cannot stand the guy. All my thoughts are filled with fuck Cain. And he just stews and stews and stews about it. And eventually he comes to a conclusion. The God of the Hebrews, that's the guy who made Cain the way he is. Alright, well, here's my opinion, is that fuck that God. I hate him for creating Cain. And I will spend the rest of my life trying to do what God has failed and replacing and destroying Cain, destroying his legacy, and then becoming the new champion of humanity and to make up for all the failures that God has made. That's what Hakim does. So, have you noticed any parallels between this story and Paradise Lost? I mean, Hakim sounds a lot like Lucifer, in my opinion.
That makes a good bit of sense. Like, well respected by the angels of heaven, and then, challenged God on his opinions on what the world should be and was cast out for it.
So, in a way, he's kind of like an anti-Lucifer, because Lucifer wants to pretty much do what the Weaver's doing and just cover the world in the giant safety spray and then play with humanity like they're Barbie dolls. Hakim actually wants a pro-human future, where if there's another character I can compare him to, he's very similar to me to the Emperor of Mankind from Warhammer 40k, where he is entirely secular. and wants a completely pro-human future where it's humanity only, humanity's achievements, humanity did this, humanity did that. No other creature or no other supernatural does any achievements for humanity. And Hakim is a bad dude. This is the kind of guy you don't want to upset, you don't want to intimidate. Try to intimidate him. Hakim is scary when you fight this guy, but at the same time, there is a bit of respect for him because even though he's going about it in a wrong way, he ultimately does he does what what's best for the world at the end of the day. So objectively, he's the good guy Antediluvian, next to Ravnos, of course.
And Sulat, maybe.
Salat, yeah, depending on what interpretation and source you're reading from Salat.
Yeah.
So time goes on. Hakim decides, I am going to train a bunch of guys. I'm going to train an army to take the fight to Cain. And he goes around, he goes in Element, and he starts siring the best of the best. He is looking for the best fighters in the world. And once he finds them, he drags them all the way back to Element, sires them, and then begins training and making them as badass as he is. In fact, he spends so much time doing this that he misses the killing of the second generation. Yeah, as it turns out in previous videos, I was wrong. Hakim didn't participate in that. Hakim was too busy training his men to actually participate in the killing of Enoch, Arad, and Zilla.
I mean,
to my surprise, because
good on his part.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I would have sworn this guy would have to had a piece of those guys, but nah, he's too busy. He misses it.
That is kind of funny, though.
I can imagine, like, what the fuck? You killed Cain's kids without me? Seriously? Did nobody tell me this? I feel so out of the
There was
loop.
not a memo.
There was not a memo. You didn't send a Silent Strider over?
I don't think the Silent Striders would have wanted anything to do with Hakim, if I'm being honest.
That would have been a big paycheck otherwise.
Yes. Probably would have put like Assamite ahead a couple of generations everybody else.
Yeah. You would have been set for life in terms of money. And like your children and your grandchildren and generations after from all that Antediluvian money. So Hakim looks over and says, well, shit. Well, where's Cain? Oh, we don't know. And Hakim has been thinking, well, I spent all this time training for nothing. So he goes into the second city and he says, well, I guess there's no rulers to this place. He's looking around. And who's the guy who greets him? Malkav.
This is going to go well.
Yep, Malkav walks up and says, hey, buddy, we haven't talked much. I heard Cain sired you. Yeah, I hate Cain just as much as you do, which is why Hakim doesn't immediately try to kill him. So Malkav just gives him a tour of the second city and says, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We killed the second generation. We're going to put this there, and we're going to put that there, and it's going to be awesome. And this is going to be a city for vampires and vampires only, and we want you to be the general of it. And Hakim says, well, fuck that. I'll want to be your general. I just want to go back to the mountains and train up and look for Cain. And Malkav is going, oh, no, you got to do it, dude. The Bali are coming after us. And Hakim's saying, the Bali, okay, well, what's the big deal with the Bali? I mean, they hunt demons. They're demon worshippers, big deal. But it's Salat who comes up to Hakim and says, listen, the Antediluvians aren't perfect people, but don't do this for them. I don't talk with Malkav anymore. I don't talk with Set anymore. Oh, you don't know who Set is. Okay, don't worry. Don't ever meet Set. But do this for the people that are under their rule. I mean, try to make life a little better for the people that are forced to live with the Antediluvians. And Hakim resonates with that. So he says, all right, fine. I'll be the guy to defend the second city. And he puts up with the bullshit of all the other vampire clans there because he realizes that if he were to fight Malkav and the other Antediluvians, it would result in a massive bloody war that would result in a ton of civilians dead at his feet. So, good on Malkav. The way you keep the Hakim pacified, put countless human lives at ransom.
That seems like to be Malkav's go-to strategy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, holding people over a flaming pit.
Let die the woman you love or suffer the little children. Okay, Malkev is just the Green Goblin. At this point, we should just hire, what's his name, to voice act him.
William Dafoe.
Mark Hamill?
No, not Mark Hamill, no.
William Dafoe, maybe?
That's it. Rapper got it.
There we go. So, the years go on, and we've got the Bali. And of course, nobody loves the Bali more than me. So, you've got the Bali, the devil worshippers, who are, of course, evil as shit around this time because Nurgle still leads the clan. So Hakim decides that all these guys have been training to fight Kane. We're going to send them after the Bali instead. And they do a pretty good job. As it turns out, being second generation has a ton of perks. We have Quietus. We remember what that does, right?
Very much stuff. And in the battle with Bali, I think also not only Assamites fight, but by her side fight Sulan's children.
Yeah, the Salubri. Right? You remember? I remember Samael, who we talked about with the Salubri episode. He's there with Hakim's children, and as it turns out, the Salubri kind of wormed their way into the hearts of the Banu Haqim. As it turns out, Kane's best friend turns out to also be the best friend of the guy who hates Kane the most. And even like modern day, the Assamites can't really bring themselves to hate the Salubri. They remember that.
Nobody.
Yeah, like these were the golden ones when it came to all of the other vampires, and we can't say anything bad about them.
And I think the destruction of Salubri just made Assamites more angry at vampires.
Yeah, it's like you have all these beautiful people. You have Genevieve, you have Samael, you have the Zhao brothers, and they shouldn't be vampires. These guys are good humans. They should, instead of living for this long, writing stuff, siring people, ghouling people, keeping them around for longer than they should have written all this down and then passed it down to their descendants. And in embracing them, you took away their souls. So you start seeing a massive anti-vampire rhetoric begin to form in the Assamites, where they start saying that nobody should have to be an Assamite. And if you become an Assamite, you looked at the whole selection process with the Assamites?
Yes, it's very in-depth.
They will not embrace you unless you fully understand what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. And like, even then, you get trained for 7 straight years, but more on that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And years and years of fighting go on, and eventually the Bali are pacified, and it looks like they're all dead. Nurgle seemingly dies, and Hakim brushes the dust off his hands and says, "All right, we're done. Second city, how are we looking?" And he turns around, and it turns out the jihad has started. All the Methuselahs and elders are starting to leave the second city so they can go off and start their own little kingdoms and fiefdoms way off to the south, north, east, west. They start spreading across all over the planet, and Hakim begins to wonder, well, I just wasted my time again. Alright, fuck all of y'all, I'm off to the elements.
Time to go train for another couple centuries.
Yep. And he stays there for a while until the Bali pop up again. That was the music that just left. Until the Bali pop up again, and Hakim rolls his eyes, pushes himself off his chair in the mountains, goes off, fights the Bali again, but as it turns out, the Bali came prepared this time and cursed him. Now, we get to talk about the clan flaw with the Assamites. It used to be that it would turn your skin so fucking black that you would look like a shadow. Like, we talk about the somber being black. No, you can't out-black the Assamites.
Yeah.
Kyle, you remember the Ralph Bakshi movie Coonskin, right?
Yeah, they were like jet black.
We're talking about that level black.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to post like a picture in the chat, but at the same time, that's a movie where you have to explain why you like it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of Ralph Bakshi movies are like that.
Yeah, I really love Ralph Bakshi's stuff, and that movie is base as fuck. Like I wholeheartedly cannot recommend. You gotta watch Coonskin if you wanna.
It was like the Boondocks before the Boondocks.
Yeah, that movie walked so Boondocks could run, and the reason why it's drawn the way it is, it's mocking racial stereotypes themselves instead of the races.
Yep.
Is what it's doing, because it's directly based off the stories of Uncle Remus, and don't worry, everybody gets shit in that movie.
Yep.
But we support discrimination and equality.
Okay.
If you discriminate everybody, you can be racist.
I was in the break room with
everyone.
I was in the break room with a buddy of mine, and like we were bitching about work, and he's like, "Dude, you hate people," and I'm like, "No, I like people. I just hate my customers." He's like, "You hate people." Like I hate. It's like he says, "What did he fucking say?" He's like, "I hate anyone who is inferior to me, which is everybody." I'm like, "Good fucking."
And at the same time with that movie, I don't think you could have recruited Scatman Crothers and Barry White to do that movie if it was an openly racist movie.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to take the time to say, fuck Al Sharpton. I hope that man burns in hell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And coming back to the curse was made by Tremere, so
Yeah.
you know why they were black.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, first, you had the first curse by the Bali, and then you had a second curse from the Tremere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Canonically, from the second edition, yes, they be that.
Yeah, from 2E, the curse that they get from the Bali is that they get addicted to vampire blood to the point where that's all they can drink. You think the blood of a human is tasty when you're a vampire? Blood from another vampire, oh, that's delicious. It is so hard to resist diablerie when it comes up. The minute you taste another vampire's vitae, you don't go back from that. You gotta have the whole thing. So, what does this cause? An entire clan to become a group of diablerists. Fantastic, right?
Yeah, every other vampire is scared shitless of them.
It's also around this time that Cain's curse, where all the Assamites begin to go into a slumber, starts setting off. And eventually that would reach Haqim, but he does have a few more years to walk around. So, the world's deadliest vampire clan begins to take a few losses around this time. Let's see, looking at what else is here. By this point, Salat had hit the trail for China, and more than likely Salat was just sticking in his own business. And Haqim said, well, whatever, we're still going to do our own anti-Cain training. So when Cain eventually shows his face again, we'll be ready to kill him. So everyone with the Assamites, they begin training. They have this massive training regiment and element, and they have different roles where they have. This was very confusing the first time I read it. They have a role within the Assamites called the Eldest, where that's not the Zenichi. The Eldest is the leader of the warrior caste. Oh, did I just say caste? What? What was it, Rapred?
I thought that the eldest was like the head above the three caste leaders.
No, you're right about that. Sorry, I was getting the wrong thing because I thought the warrior is called something else, right? It starts with the C.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's why I got you here fact checking me. All right. So you have an eldest who is appointed around this time because, as it turns out, Haqim knows he's not going to be around forever. He's eventually going to fall asleep and stay asleep. So you have an eldest appointed, and then you have the three castes. You have the warrior caste. Take a wild guess as to what they do.
They war things, I think.
Yeah, with a specific interest in celerity and potence. Now, it's a bit of a challenge when you do the warriors. You have disciplines, sure, but you want to kill a guy in the most human way possible when you do your hits as a warrior. After all, they have their own version of the litany. They have their own little litany, and secrecy is a big key to it. You have celerity, you have potence. Try not to rely on either of those. If you have a gun, if you have a sword, use that first. Only use your disciplines when the mission goes tits up.
Yes. That is your get out of jail free card.
I mean,
And
obfuscate is like you can use it.
yeah, obfuscate especially.
Obfuscate.
You want to combine obfuscate and celerity at the same time? Well, behold, you got the murder machine moving around at the speed of light that nobody could see. You just think it's the wind.
Yeah, I mean, the good good description of how deadly that is the new film Ramfield with Nicolas Cage Dracula. Anybody heard?
Exactly.
Yeah, in one scene he like throws Ramfield and kills like 15 people in time when he flew. So he's in the air, like it's like 2-3 second max,
Yeah.
and he kills 15 people. That's the speed and deadliness of the Assamites.
They're fucking
And-
scary.
And you're familiar with all like the memes of Dio Brando. By the time it takes Dio to stop time for 10 seconds, the Assamite has already killed 10 people.
It's
With just- Yeah, with how fucking fast they're moving. And you also have the sorcerers, where Kietas, we're eventually going to get into that with Ryan. If you didn't think that was strong, they have thaumaturgy along with that. Right.
They
Yeah.
have thaumaturgy, what?
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
thaumaturgy and Kietas, making this the ultimate 1v1 vampire. if we had a competitive meta with Vampire the Masquerade, this would be top tier.
Yes.
No
at
questions.
least.
Yeah, and not only because there are many like disciplines, like they go overpowered on higher levels. This gets overpowered on low levels. That's the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah, because thaumaturgy is already really strong, but you combine the two, and if you're fighting a single target, that target dies. No questions asked.
Yes, basically.
And then lastly, you have the viziers,
The visor.
who
Actually,
they
You
They
could say
insta-
scholars.
yeah
Who they try to understand the curse and they try to break the curse. Multiple.
these
Yeah.
these guys are geniuses. They're like paladins, where you're not just super strong physically, you're also super smart. Pretty much a jack of all trades when it comes to vampires. And what's even deadlier about them is that one of their default disciplines is Auspex, where that is one of the critical disciplines to have in Vampire. Because, sure, Potence and Celerity are very strong, but I can't think of a single situation where Auspex wouldn't be useful to have. And after all, we look at Transylvania Chronicles, there is a ton of stuff in that module that you can miss if you don't have Auspex. So, yeah, incredible power in the Banu Haqim. They're not the Banu Haqim yet, but they're the Assamites. So, you have them getting organized. And it's around this time that you have the Golden Child come into existence. Shulgi. You want to talk about Shulgi? Because this is a pretty important guy. He looks fucking weird as shit. You want to see this guy's picture?
let's see it.
You want to see this guy's picture? He doesn't look human. He don't look human no more.
We've already been over this with the Zamichi.
Here he is.
What the fuck? I stand corrected.
Imagine this being the last thing you see.
That's the fucking human incarnation of Gygas. Fuck that.
Yeah, you look at this guy, and Hakim only ever sired 2 vampires. That's the crazy thing about him. I could be wrong about that. Let's see, looking up Hakim right now, I think it's only 2 people. He sired pretty much.
Two
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, 2 people. And look at the guy, the name of the 2. Shulgi is this guy, and no, I was wrong about that. He's got a bunch of other guys, but Manchiaka is the guy who does a lot of the siring. But Manchiaka is the first vampire he ever sired, and majority of the clan comes from Manchiaka. But Shulgi has only ever embraced 1 vampire in his life, and we're going to get into how big of a deal that is. So the thing is with Shulgi is that Hakim says, my judgment is flawed. I need to create a number 2 guy. I need as close as I can get to a duplicate of myself, who's better in every way to myself, to help me lead the clan in my absence. And he embraces a guy that he just finds out in the woods, proverbially. Urshulgi. Turns out this guy is a genius. He is a savant. After a lengthy interview process and years talking to this guy, Haqim decides, you're perfect. You are going to be my successor. He embraces Urshulgi, brings him all the way to Alamet, puts him down on a throne, and says, "Behold, everybody, I have the golden child. He is burnt so fucking black. He looks two-dimensional when you look at him. That's the level of darkness that he has. The only thing you can make out on Urshulgi are his red eyes and his red teeth. That's the only thing you can make out on his body when he's not wearing clothes."
So what is he actually supposed to be then?
He was human, but he's made to be the perfect vampire from Haqim, from his blood. And there is a theory that in order to ensure that he continued ruling his clan, Urshulgi might have diabolized Haqim successfully, and then the two fused to become one symbiotic being, but that's just a rumor, that's just a theory. We're not going to go too deep into that. And Haqim says, in my absence, we're going to call this guy the Black Shepherd. Guess why? And he is going to be the leader of the clan while I'm gone. I know we have the eldest. We just went through this whole massive selection process for the eldest, but this guy stands above the eldest. This is the Dark Messiah who's going to lead us to the pro-human future. I'm about to fall asleep. Haqim out. But before that happens, Urshulgi managed to sire one vampire. Just one. And I want to bring this guy up because this guy is fucking awesome when you hear his lore.
I mean, like every Assamite.
Yeah, every Assamite. I don't think there's a single lame lore character in here, but we're eventually going to get around to talk about Fatima. Remind me to talk about Fatima.
Okay.
We have Al-Ashrad, who is the whitest of all the Assamites, apparently. And his whole shtick. Kyle, this was a mage.
This
was
guy?
A mage. A mage.
Oh, no,
this
guy
was a
here.
mage.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a mage.
Well, he's a glowing eyes meme. I don't imagine. That's kind of standard.
See, and this
Shadows
guy
of
had
Minigang.
this guy would go around, and this guy was a demon hunter, and like the One Punch Man, he hunted demons for fun. And let me tell you what his signature spell was. It has an exact name, but it's pretty much this gigantic beam of sunlight, just like pure concentrated sunlight, that he would shoot out. And see, whenever he would shoot it out, the entire room would feel it. And he gets discovered by Haqim. And Haqim says, "You are badass. I really like your shtick. I'm a huge fan. Here, come into Alamut with this. And we're going to keep you here. You're going to be a reserve guy. The Tremere don't exist as a reference point yet, so you're kind of like our Tremere before the Tremere are a thing. And you're going to be here, and you're going to help us out in times of trouble." And all the other Assamites that have been with Haqim for years and years are going, "What the fuck? This human gets to be a part of the clan?" No. So they all go over. They try to jump Al-Ashrad. And Al-Ashrad responds by doing this. Let's see. Just completely fries the room of every Assamite in it.
That's
Just
a
imagine,
lot
like,
of lost progress.
Yeah, just imagine like this big fuck old laser fills the room and he kills, I think it's like 10 or 15 Assamites in one move.
Wouldn't that have killed Haqim himself?
I guess it missed Haqim. Like, you're lucky he wasn't standing in the way of the blast.
Yeah, he was like standing behind him, like he was walking him with the room. "Hey guys, I brought a new friend," and everybody like, "Oh no!" They already jumped him, like the jump instinct. They already jumping, and he was like, self-defense and pull out the beam, and Hakim by his side is like, "Man, you could use any other spell, really."
You could have
Why
used
that
any
one?
other spell, but you used a big damn laser spell.
Yeah,
And
there's no sleep spell.
yeah, I'm gonna say it.
No, I had to
I'm,
use laser.
yeah, Kyle, I know you don't like Toho, but like, to give you like a reference, it's like how big the laser is.
Basically,
Yeah.
everybody within there just like rolled no successes on dodge.
Oh, how can you dodge that?
There
If
was
you
no
crit.
room to dodge.
So Hakim looks over and says, "What the fuck? You just killed 15 of my own men. You know how long it's going to take to replace those? Something's got to be done here." Ursholgi comes over and says, "Why don't we embrace Al-Ashwad?" And Hakim thinks, that's a good idea. That's why I keep you around, Ursholgi. You are so smart. So glad you're here. Here, let's embrace him. So what they do is that before he's embraced, they gouge out his left eye and cut off his left arm at the shoulder, and then embrace him.
Why?
And as punishment for killing 15 Assamites. And that's a wound that never heals after they do that. And once they do that, Al-Shwa, they just throw him out and say, guess what? You are the leader of our sorcerer cast now. That's how you're going to give us back pay for all the people that you killed. And he says, all right, fine. Sounds like a fair trade to me. And the thing is, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's still moving around today. And he still has some of his magic. Not all of it. I mean, he doesn't have the big fuck all laser anymore. But he's got like a little like small he's got like a small substitute to it.
Yeah, and question.
Yeah.
Did the embrace from like older generation doesn't remove your avatar? I mean, it could lower it, but
Oh no! The minute you get embraced, your avatar is just destroyed. You can do sorcery, but you
like
can't do high
he
magic.
has his magic, and also Odin has. So
yeah. So if he managed to keep any like magic artifacts, he still has those.
okay.
Yeah, but his Arret score is permanently stuck at 5. So, shit sucks, but victim of circumstance, and he's doing okay for himself as a vampire.
So he's chilling in the mountain with millennia old books of magic and science.
And now we get to a point where history kind of slows down just a little, because they're doing very well with Alamut. You got all these different guys, and now we've got a business with the Assamites. You pay us in blood, and we'll kill whoever you want. That's the business model. And it's so good that you do such a good job as assassins that people think that you don't exist, and that's the best thing you can do for a hitman business. And who is their greatest clients? Everyone in North Africa and the land that would eventually become Turkey, who hated the Roman Empire. Now, what clans ran the Roman Empire again?
The
Orieder, Ventru, La Sombra as well.
Yeah,
but
all
the clans, I think there will be, but these 3 were the like main rulers,
along with the Malkavians.
Malkavians. They are this summer.
The prime target of the Assamites for centuries are the Ventru. All the enemies of Rome are paying the Assamites. This includes the Garu Nation, I'm pretty sure, because I'm certain that Silverfang has at one point paid an Assamite to kill a Ventru for them. And like, dog, if you have Hitman this good, fuck the litany, and the Silverfangs don't really follow their own rules either. So go ahead, pay the Assamite.
It was like, I don't sense no worm. Here we go.
There's no worm. Come to think of it, these guys are like pretty well behaved too, so there probably wasn't any worm to sense on them.
Yeah. He's like, well, you're very good assassins. Yep. So here you go, your blood, our heads, sweet.
At least they may be, but talents they have.
You have the Venture will tell you that their greatest rival is not the La Sombra. They refuse to acknowledge the La Sombra for anything. They say it's the Assamites that are their greatest enemy. And it's because of just how much shit they got from the Assamites for years, for millennia. They gave them shit. And the Assamites hate the Ventru. They remember Ventru without the E, the antediluvian, who was in the first city, and they remember just what a kiss ass he was to Cain. So this entire Clan Ventru, just exists to prop up Cain's legacy. And they do whatever Cain says. They say, yes, Papa, yes, Daddy Cain, we'll do whatever you say. And they hate the Ventru for doing that. So whenever the chance to kill a Ventru pops up, yes, the Assamites will gladly take that offer. You probably should have
50% discount on Ventru.
Yeah,
we have like the Ventru discount.
that's funny.
Ventru
That's
discount.
He'll be dead in 30 days, or you get your assassination free.
good.
These guys got a pretty good business model.
Yeah. We also have 2 Ventrus for 1.
Yeah.
The price.
It's a little bargain. You kill one Ventru, get the other one half off.
Exactly.
Yeah. It will be like just cut in half in torso, but you know.
And did these guys always hate them before Rome? Yes, because they also hated them for Sparta. You remember the whole 300, the war with the Persians?
Yes.
And you remember who is Persian? The Assamites. So, yeah, fuck the Ventru. They really hate the Ventru.
Been fighting
who
for
else do
millennia.
you know who else they hate? The Setites.
Well, yeah, they're filthy and
wonder.
ungodly people.
Yeah, they don't like sharing land with the pedo boys. So anytime they get a chance to kill a Setite, they will gladly take the chance to do so.
Base
They were going to
Assamites.
The Assamites are the most devoted, the most self-control, self-esteem.
Yeah,
With complete opposite of the Seti, who you know the Setis. Watch
Yeah.
the video.
yeah, bro. It really is true. The whole saying that discipline will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like even though I would not want to live in an Assamite future, I can't bring myself to hate these guys because they're virtuous in their own strange moral way.
They sort of veer into the category of lawful neutral of all things.
Yeah, exactly. They know what they want; they're going to take it. And
Well, yeah, but they're gonna do it in the most chivalrous way possible.
And thanks to Malkavians, the Malkavians start catching on that, hey, we got a problem. We've got these guys coming in that are pretending to be other vampire clans who are killing the Ventru Centers, and we've got a problem if they keep doing this. The Malkavians can look at Diabolists, and they can identify a Diabolist on sight. They'll have a black aura whenever a Malkavian looks at them. And as they're going around, the Malkavians start identifying the Assamites, and it makes the job a little harder, but no, you can't stop the Assamites. They're still able to reach Rome, and they still kill Ventru, and they start killing Toreador and the Malkavians who are supposed to be detecting them. It goes to show just how incredibly badass having a second-generation antediluvian is.
Yep.
So,
I mean, if you see it, doesn't mean you can stop it.
you
Yeah,
can see it, but yeah.
We glossed
It's,
over how powerful the Assamites are just on a power level. They get kicked
Oh,
the shit
yeah.
out of any Malkavian, regardless
Oh,
of how
yeah.
quick they are.
Yeah.
If only Luis was arriving a day early in our werewolf life play.
Well, like I said, I do not make the decisions. That is up to Senor Sylvester.
And the fun thing is that the Ventures say, we are putting a hit out for the... What's this clan called again? And it turns out, oh no, we actually don't know the name of the clan that's hunting us. So they start having to look, and they figure out, oh, this clan called the Assamites exists, and nobody ever told us about them. They never popped up on our radar until today. So we're going to put a hit out for... What are these guys called again? Fuck it, let's call them the Hashashin. Let's just call them that. We're going to put a hit out for them. And
No, it's too complicated. Call him Hassan.
yeah, we'll call them the Hassans.
Hassan Chop!
And
You know what? The guy is old and he's in the mountains. Let's say he's the old man on the mountain.
yes, so those guys, we need those guys dead. We will pay
There we go. We're good.
As we were saying, thanks to that little frog music cue we definitely got, the Ventru, the Toreador, the Malkavians, and the La Sombra that they hire all get up and start running all the way to Persia to the mountain they think is Alamut, only to get there and figure out that they don't know where they are. And we've got no idea where we are. We've got no idea what we're looking for. We're looking for a clan. Like, do we even know what these guys look like? So they try and fail to kill the Assamites. And after they turn up with nothing, and then it turns out, oh no, there's more Arabs than we thought there were. Turns out we can't avenge the Holy Land. Fuck it, this is our fight. Just leave the fight to the Sombra and the Cappadocians. They're the only two people who care about this shit. And the Ventru go back over to Byzantium and start ruling the Byzantine Empire with the Toreador, and that's pretty much the fate that they resign themselves to. Is that we tried, but it turns out we didn't know what we were doing, so the Assamites were still running free. Still killing them. And it gets so bad that in the 1400s, the Ventures say, okay, we're all going to die out eventually. This is at a rate that we just can't handle. So they make the Treaty of Tyre, where they say to the Assamites, we've got this group here called the Camarilla. We're going to stomp you out if you keep coming after us. They're bluffing when they say that. They have no idea how to stop the Assamites.
Yeah. Manufacta will be dead.
Yeah.
Is the Camarilla in the Assamite language.
Yeah,
I mean, not the Assamite language, but
Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a word for the Ventru. They refer to them as the Ventru infidel whenever they talk about the Ventru, just to show you just how much they fucking hate the Ventru. And they come up to them and say, we want you to stop killing us. Here, you've got an entire African continent over there that's filled with vampires. We want you to go over there. We want you to terrorize them. Just leave Europe alone. We've got this little paper for you to sign called the Treaty of Tyre. Just put your names right there. It says, we leave you alone, you leave us alone, and that's it. And, maybe after you sign this, we can hire you for a couple of jobs. And for whatever demon-possessed reason, Urshulgi and the Eldest gives you okay to sign it, and behold, the Treaty of Tyre is signed. Boom. War over with the Ventru.
Yeah, but the treaty was not made by Tremere.
Yeah. That it was...
And was not cast a spell on it?
Yeah, it was a little, collaborative effort, where, turns out the Tremere had something behind it.
Of course they fucking did.
Existed in 1498, I think it was?
Yeah. Yeah, that is when it was. Because the Camarilla was founded in 1444. No, I'm sorry. The Camarilla, that was the Conspiracy of Isaac. The Camarilla was founded in 1313, and this was signed in 1492. So, yeah, the Camarilla was around for a while, and it turns out the Tremere had a little...
Sorry, 96.
Yeah, not 1496. And it turns out that Tremere had a little trap card hidden underneath that treaty, where not only are you addicted to vampire blood now, you can't stop eating vampire blood. That's the only blood you can take now. So the hope was that the Assamites were going to turn on each other and start diabolizing each other. That was the ultimate plan with it. And it would have worked had it not been for those meddlesome Sabbat and Anarchs. Because around this time, you had the Anarch Revolt 100 years before, you had the Sabbat. So instead of going after the Ventru, because, we're actually going to be the Sigma males and hold up our end of the Treaty of Tyre, we're instead going to pursue the La Sombra and Zenichi and Anti-Tribu and have fun doing that. But then the Sabbat say, oh no, we don't want you going after us. Behold, we're an organization known as the Black Hand, and we're going to start paying you to go under the noses of the Treaty of Tyre and the Camarilla and start assassinating the Camarilla for us. And the Assamites say, well, what's your offer? And they start playing both sides, where you've got Assamites who work for the Camarilla, Assamites who work for the Sabbat, and the Assamites are talking with each other, exchanging information with each other as to what the Camarilla and Sabbat are doing. And behold, they're playing both sides.
I mean, at the end of the day, they have their own sides, so they playing their little game.
Yeah, it's It's a lot like the Nosferatu, because the Nosferatu say that they're only loyal to the Nosferatu clan, and they don't give that big of a shit about the Camarilla. But no, the Assamites take that to heart. They say, we could not give less of a damn about these factions. The only thing we care about is each other.
I kind of
And
admire that
each
level of camaraderie
other
within the
and
clan.
killing you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean the embrace training really makes them bond.
yeah.
So I see why they are so tight. Why they are so in unison about the cause, about the camaraderie, about hating everybody else, about simply every aspect of being Assamite.
You see why for our vampire versus werewolf video, I put the Banu Haqim against these guys, against the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you know why I love them.
And it's around this time that Urshogi takes a snooze. He probably was already sleeping by this point, but you realize that we only have eldest. And the eldest is a very contentious position, and we have different sect leadership positions. Al Shrad is the only guy who stays a consistent leader. So, when you live in Iran, you have this religion called Islam, where if you want to continue living in Iran under the Masquerade, you're going to have to go along with Islam. And it's around this time that you start seeing a lot of Assamites begin to lose the anti-god vision of the Assamite clan, and they start becoming the Islamic vampires. And this leads to a little schism within the clan. You've got the Assamites who are permanently loyal to Hakim, that want there to be a pro-human future. And then you've also got the Assamites who say, we need to follow Sharia law, we need to become vampires of God, and say it's a sin to be a vampire, it's haram to be a vampire, and that's why we're killing vampires. It's to cleanse the world of all the evil, because I think the worm might have come across the radar at least like once in an Assamite's lifetime. So, behold, you got vampires that are being possessed by the literal devil. So it's a good thing that you're killing vampires, right? But then,
You're like, okay, you get the point, but not exactly.
yeah.
Yes, but
Then they got
technically, no.
We love the enthusiasm, but maybe like sit down, let's talk about it.
Yeah. And then you've got the dispossessed, who are underperforming Assamites that don't like Hakim, don't like Islam, but they worship money. They say, we just want money, we just want to make money forever by being hitmen. And they become this materialist sect of the Setites. No, not Setites, Assamites. I like that came to our mind because like the Setites also love money. Maybe you spent too much time hunting the Setites and saw just how much loot they had in their coffers.
Yes.
And
Make a lot of
now
money
we've got
from
a clan
experiments.
we've got a clan that's on the verge of falling apart. And it's around this time we have a little faction form called the Ashira. Now, Kyle, I told you about this group before, and this is the fourth, well, technically fifth, major faction of vampires, posting their little Wikipedia pages in the notes. Yeah, there you go. That's the Ashira for you.
Yes.
Where this group started in 622, but eventually, with like the turn of Islam and Prophet Muhammad wrote the Quran. I don't know. I didn't fucking read it, but no, it started and it's here, and majority of the body of the Ashura is the Banu Haqim. You have the occasional Bruja, La Sombra, and Nosferatu that'll join with it, but it's the Banu Haqim's baby. That's their alternative to the Camarilla.
Yeah, and
And
specifically Banu Haqim, not the Assamite, I
Yeah.
would say.
yeah, it's
Well, I'm
yeah,
noticing
now
that
we start getting a little fraction here, because where does the term Banu Haqim come from? That is the anti-tribute, quote unquote, that don't work with the Sabbat. You occasionally get Assamites that work so well with the Sabbat that they quit being Assamites and become Assamite anti-tribute. But no, the Banu Haqim are Islamic vampires that are Islamic in spite of Hakim. They have fully turned their back on the mission. And these guys are hardcore theocrats. They want to live in a world where the entire world follows Sharia law. They are probably more zealot, more zealous than ISIS or Boko Haram whenever it comes to Islam.
I would also like to point out, like, the Ashira have like all the major monotheistic symbols in their logo. They got the cross,
Exactly.
they've got the Star of David, and then they've got the crescent moon for Islam.
Yeah, and there you have it. So these guys are religious as fuck.
Yes.
And when Oshulgi eventually wakes up in 1999 after the Week of Nightmares, he gets up, he looks around, and he says, "What the fuck is this? I said no God in the clan, and here you are worshiping God. What's the deal here?" So he goes over, he pulls over his man Al-Ashwad and says, You gotta do something about this. We gotta cut this God shit out." And Al-Ashwad and him have this massive conversation where it ends with Al-Ashwad walking out of Alamut, looking at his followers and saying, we quit the clan. We quit. We're forming a contract with the Camarilla today, and that's it. The entirety of the Assamites have been disbanded. And there you have it.
Anticlimactic.
That's their current clan. We don't know what exactly was said, but now there is a civil war with the Assamites, where you've now got the loyalist Assamites who follow Hakim run or die, with the Islamic Assamites, and then you got the Assamite anti-tribute, and then you got the dispossessed. So 4 different factions of Assamites that are all fighting each other and fighting for money, fighting for blood, fighting for contracts. Oh, by the way, that vampire addiction, that's no longer a thing. Al-Ashwad, in his mercy, realized, well, why are we putting up with the Tremir's bullshit? And after studying his ass off, he eventually broke the curse. So that curse doesn't exist anymore, but the addiction to vampire blood still exists. And you don't have to drink vampire blood, but in a room where an Assamite or a Banu Haqim has the option of drinking either a human or a vampire, they will always go after the vampire first.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, vampire blood's a hell of a drug. Once you're on it, you don't get off of it.
I mean, their litany says, like, you can if necessary, but your job is to protect people.
Exactly. So that, like, quit fucking around with all this different Sabbat shit. I mean, you have an aspect with the Sabbat, by the way. You couldn't get further from Hakim's original vision with that.
Yeah.
A group of vampire supremacists that want to subjugate the world under a world where, I don't know, the sky's forever blackened out by this La Sombra, and the Zimichi and La Sombra run around and ruin everybody's lives. Here's the thing, fuck the Assamite anti-tribute. If you encounter one of those in your game, kill it. You are doing the world a moral virtue by killing an Assamite anti-tribute.
Yeah, do it for Hakim.
You do it. Even if Hakim is going to kill you, you're saving trouble for the next human down the road.
Yes.
And that's the history, really. We now live in a period where the clan has completely collapsed. You want to know why? It's because, as it turns out, 90% of all Assamites were Islamic by that point.
Yeah, that'd about do it.
Yeah, as it turns out, there's when it comes to named characters, a ton of their stories end with Shulgi put a hit out for them for worshiping God, and then they were killed by Shulgi's men.
It turns out when you kill a lot of your own people for very petty reasons, that's gonna happen.
Now we get to talk about a little lore character where I am in love with this character. I really like this character. It is you see that vampire on the cover?
Mm-hmm.
That is Fatima Al-Fakadi, who is the lore character of Clan Assamite. Here is her full body portrait in the notes page.
Oh, the one from 20th edition.
Yeah, that's her. And she is badass because if you read the vampire novels, she is the mortal enemy of Beckett's on and off again La Sombra girlfriend, Lucita de Aragon. where she is able to fight Lucita de Aragon. Where keep in mind, her sire is one Ambrosio Luis Moncada, the guy who allegedly diabolized and killed La Sombra, is her sire. And Fatima is able to fight Lucita on even ground and win in some of her fights.
1v1.
Yeah, like we said, this is the 1v1 build. You don't fuck around with her. She's only Generation 6. And it goes to show, you might have talent with La Sombra. You might have Obtenebration, which could be the strongest of all the disciplines when you look at it from a purely mechanical standpoint. But it will mean nothing. All of your innate power, your talent will mean nothing in the face of raw skill, which is what Fatima is.
Yeah.
Where,
Not only skill, talent, and hard work, which is every Assamite.
Yeah.
And-
Well, I can't help but respect the shit out of this clan. They're just so cool.
You want to know who killed Moncada, by the way? Fatima. So there you go. The guy who supposedly killed Antediluvian, she killed that guy.
Kordensky trained you? I trained Kordensky.
This is why what I like in terms of like the you have the whole like what's that company called, like Sweet Baby Incorporated, that we were like reading news about earlier today. That financial firm that's like made Saints Row the way Saints Row is today, along with the train wreck that was Starfield. You know about the story, right?
Oh, what happened with Starfield?
Did I not send the story to you?
I don't think so. If you
Okay,
did,
so
it
there's
probably got buried in my notice.
So there's a game company called Sweet Baby Incorporated, which is a consulting firm. It's a consulting firm that gets you to align with ESG. It's pretty much like a video game subsidiary of BlackRock, is what it is.
What?
And-
That's some Pentex shit right there.
Yeah, that is. And like with a name like Sweet Baby, and that's like already like giving me like red flags. But you look at strong female characters in video games today, and you get like shit characters like Aloy and the cast of Saints Row, where it's just fucking annoying shit.
They're just they're sass with no actual like prowess or skill to back it up. Like what happened to our Ripleys and our Samus Arans and our fucking
the
Lara
main
Crofts?
character of Forspoken?
Oh, good fucking lord!
This is the badass woman I like the one I like seeing, where she's badass because she gets respect. That's what she gets.
She gets respect. She has talent. She's killer. It's awesome.
And she busted her ass to get to where she is today.
Yeah, it's like in Mulan, the Disney movie, not the shitty live-action remake that was complicit in genocide. The old one, the animated one.
Yeah. Jan Peterzoon is always going to be my favorite lore character, but Fatima is a very close second. Very close second. And I wish I could have said the same about the Giovanni, but the Giovanni lore character kind of sucks. But we'll talk about the Giovanni some other day.
Yep.
Now, for those that litany, the Assamites have their own little litany, and it's a fun little set of rules. If you're going to have a society of assassins, you're going to need some rules for that, right?
Some honor amongst assassins is pretty paramount.
See, while I'm pulling this up, Ryan, you got any ideas?
Not that I can think of.
You think you want to hire one of these guys, Grim?
No.
See,
What do you mean?
we
no?
can have Grim and all of his bravado hire we can have an Assamite hire hunt for you. You pay the Assamite to hunt for you, and then you just sit in your den and wait for the Assamite to show up.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably the only way I would do it, because Grim, I feel like my kills should be coming from me, not someone else.
I feel like that's going to be interesting if like Sylvester and Louis show up at New York and Louis meets Grim. You sense an aura of calm, collective professionalism around this leech.
I will pay you to hunt me.
That's basically.
Excuse me?
Like Grim paying Louis.
Yeah. And Louis' response is like, excuse me?
I will give you You will give me 48 hours to hide somewhere in this city. You must hunt and find me.
I can do that.
You look at these guys too, and like you understand like why the Shadow Lords wanted to make a contract with these guys, and then got pissed at hell at the Ventru for getting to the Assamites before they could.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you know, now that it's canon that the Banu Haqim are working with the Camarilla, you can imagine just how happy the the Shadow Lords are about that, because behold, the world's greatest assassins are now on their payroll.
Damn, feels good to be a gangster.
Yeah, they all get to clap their big baby feet together. And that litany, by the way, I'm looking at the different. There's like variant weaknesses too, where yeah, we could get like a little bit. Do you want to get more into the cast later, or
Yeah, I think we'll
should
get
I
more
go
into
ahead?
the cast later. Well,
Yeah,
where's
we'll
that
go about the
litany
cast
at?
later. The litany. Well, I'm trying to find the litany, but I immediately ended up in the cast pages, and I said, "Well,
The
shit."
litany or the puff of blood? Or
No, the I think it's the Karad is what it's called.
I'm trying to find where it
the
is.
Yeah.
seven. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, do you have that?
Wait,
I'm trying to find the
Oh,
page
I found
for
it.
it.
it's in the first edition. It's like
Yeah.
some.
The
Alright.
Kabar, yeah, there it is.
All right. Well, there it is. It's well, it's 7 virtues, and they're all pretty self-explanatory, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I found the page for you if you guys want to go through with it.
See, I've also got the
It's page
so
24 through 24 through 25, as far to my knowledge.
Yes, yeah, the Kabar, where first of all, loyalty. You are to be loyal to the mission of Hakim. You are to remember that this is going to be a pro-human future that you're building. Do not ever lose sight of that mission. We're looking at you, Banu Haqim. We're looking at you, Assamite Anti-Tribute. We're looking at you, Dispossessed. Next up, Brotherhood. Under no circumstances do you turn your weapons onto another Assamite. You are to be a team. You are to build this human future together. At no point will any clan infighting be tolerated.
Another
Number 2.
honor.
Yeah, honor. You only ever go after your target. Never target innocent. Do not kill somebody that you're not being paid to hunt. We fight with honor. We're not murderers like the Zamichi. We're not murderers like the Giovanni. We are going to do this the right way.
And remember, little ones, the clan's honor comes first.
Exactly. A very, very Gary Nation-like when you look at this, honestly.
I don't know. I think they're even more well put together than the Garrow, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you got the
Oh yeah.
the Surfangs. Look at them copying their homework.
Basically, yeah, but fucking, they're in their schizophrenic, epileptic, inbred insanity. They can't copy the homework right.
Working with the delegation. I just watched the Flaming Hot Cheetos movie the other day. It was a great movie, guys.
Lovely.
Vengeance. If somebody kills an Assamite, you are to work for free and hunting down the man who killed that Assamite, and you are to kill them. That is the doctrine. We will tolerate nobody coming after Clan Assamite.
Yeah. And those betrayed by the Banu Haqim are given the honor title of Shahid and are avenged to the utmost limit of the clan's power. So if the Camarilla, kills some Assamite, they the number 1 on the hit list.
You are to fuck those guys up. And next up, secrecy. Now, don't tell anybody that you're a vampire. In fact, go as far as to never meet the client that's hiring you in person. You are to send a ghoul liaison to negotiate the contract, and if they call, say how it's going, that ghoul is to give them lip service until you complete the job. Once you complete that job, you do it well, you do what the client tells you to, you are to technically remain loyal to the client until it's done, but you still follow the Quran, and if the client is asking you to violate the Quran, let him know that he's breaching contract and that he's in the wrong for doing that.
Yeah, and as a segue here, when the treaty was signed, it was signed by 6 Assamites, and they were not even high ranking. They were literally simple Assamites sent there. So that clan the most powerful of the clan could stay in a secret.
Where that makes sense, because if it's an ambush, you're not losing your most valuable men in one night.
Yep.
Exactly.
Good
next
plan
up-
on their part.
Next up, faith. You are to never lose faith in Haqim's teachings of assassinations, and you are to never lose faith in the mission as to what you're doing as a clan. And then lastly, community. You are protecting humanity from the greatest predator, yourself, and other vampires. Now, actually keep in touch with the people that you're protecting, because after all, if there is no vampire to feed off of, you need to have a herd to feed off of. And if you have a herd, make sure you take care of that herd.
You are a shepherd, not a wolf.
And that's what we got. And
Technically, they lions
yes.
amongst the wolves. Quote for second edition.
Right.
There we go. In case you want to know what those ghouls look like, here's their picture again.
The ghouls?
Yeah, in the notes page.
They look fucking cool as hell. I'm not even gonna lie.
You look at the ghouls book, and the Assamites very clearly stand out as the winners of that book.
Yeah, those look awesome.
But also, these two guys look like Tusken Riders.
They kind of do, actually.
See, no, you can't just shoot down our helicopter with an RPG.
Lamau, watch me. Catch us
We now
RPG, homeboy.
We now can talk about the religious doctrine. The secular doctrine. The path of blood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Banu Haqim, or the Assamites, pardon me, adhere to what is known as the path of blood. Some say that it is a simple desire for increased power through diablerie, but it is, in fact, far more complicated than that. The path of blood teaches that it will lead to the downfall of what they refer to as the Munafiqun, turning their own strength against them. And this will lead to the fulfillment of the Assamites' revenge for all of their sufferings and the curses placed upon them, as well as carrying out Haqim's sacred task, ridding the world of all Canaanites. And the second reason for that is they believe that the path of blood ascends the peak of Alamut, and the Rafiq who climb the path of blood to the summit shall become one. They believe it will lead them to the same sort of spiritual unity with Haqim, achieving enlightenment comparable to the Munafiqun idea of Golconda. That is, being able to achieve, a point in your unlife that will basically allow you to live a normal life. In many ways, it's very similar to the Sabbat's Path of Cain. Sometimes the Assamites were actually credited with developing the Path of Cain itself, and the Munafiqun are allowed to carry on believing that the Assamites follow that path. Since it's in the interests of what they refer to as the Taqiyad, and prevents the outsiders from learning the clan's true goal of destroying all of Cain's progeny. Just for a storyteller note, the storyteller can use the Path of Blood in the same way as Passive Enlightenment, the player's guide to the Sabbat. And you can impose path rolls in response to the character's behavior instead of humanity rolls. It'd be particularly appropriate for the Antitribu, but could also apply to all Assamites, since they don't subscribe to many of the Kufar beliefs of the Camarilla, as they put it. The history of the Path of Blood is, covered in other books, but it's presented in the same information as the player's guide to the Sabbat. As for the ethics of the path itself, there's a number of key points to follow. Be faithful to the code of Kabar and to the teachings of Haqim. Seek all knowledge which will assist the children of Haqim in their struggle with Kahin's Get. This includes the Book of Nod, any knowledge concerning clans and individuals. Since the Treaty of Tyre, or is that Tyre or Tyre?
Tyre.
Since the Treaty of Tyre, knowledge which might help circumvent the curse has become particularly important. Practice restraint and develop inner strength to withstand the beast. Resist frenzy at all costs. Those mastered by the beast are touched by Kahin's corruption. Deal honorably with mortals, and do not despise them merely for being mortal. To despise mortals without cause is to become the same as Kahin's Get. Drink from them only when necessary. Lose no opportunity to obtain kindred blood of any generation. The power of the blood shall ensure the clan's victory. And recognize that you are not as the Get of Kahin, and that they are your ancestral enemy. Keep apart from them unless duty requires otherwise. Guard your spirit from Kahin's corruption, which they carry. Kahin, I think, is what they. That's how they
that's what
refer
they're
to
called.
it.
Kane, also
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Wanderer.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go over the hierarchy of sins or no?
You notice like the whole ethics. Do what Hakim says. Fuck Kane. Fuck other vampires. And the beast. Satiate that when it comes to other vampires. As you notice the hierarchy of sins, like pulled it up so like everybody at home can see what we're looking at.
Yes.
And you notice just how many of these are, if we're going to really paraphrase it, screw vampires and protect humans. Like the mortal sin is killing a mortal during feeding. Like, do not do that under any circumstances.
Yeah. And before that is succumbing to frenzy,
Yeah.
which is directly like fighting the beast and fucking.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I noticed while reading this book. There's so much respect. There's so much chivalry involved in this clan. There's a really strict rule set. I like this brand of lawful neutral. This seems like not a terrible this seems like not a terrible clan to fall into. Like if you're gonna get embraced, not only are you gonna come out of it stronger, but further still, you would be embedded in a clan that holds brotherhood and honor second to none.
Yeah, I mean Banu Haqim, Assamites, they are more Assamites. They are very good morally and mechanically. That's why people like them.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the world they're looking for, because they more than likely hate America. I mean, yeah, I hate my own government too. More than likely, if any of us try to work with them, they'll probably kill us.
Yeah, unless you're Luis,
I
who
don't know.
just like Sylvester.
I could have chance because I'm closer, but I don't know if they, if you know the Winged Hussars of the Vienna. I don't know if they still remember that or not.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, because once upon a time they tried invading Vienna, but it didn't go so well. And you want to know your reward for following the path of blood all the way to completion?
What is that?
I just posted that GIF in studio notes.
All right, let's see it.
Behold, the non-toe Seiken of Festa North Star is your reward, because Urshulgi, who has a path rating of 10 in the Path of Blood, killed a Generation 4 by swiping his finger across his face like that, and did that.
That's fucking crazy.
You want to know what it's like to fight Urshulgi? Him making physical contact with you kills you.
That's just busted.
You know what's busted? Because it's the third level of Quietus. It's the third level.
That's third level. Good lord.
I mean in 20th edition, I don't know if another one. It's just simply 1v1 fight with fortitude. You're against mine. And it's like, if you win or lose,
in fact,
who takes damage?
Speaking of Quietus, now's the perfect time to bring Ryan in.
Yes.
Ryan, you've been fucking quiet this whole episode. Wake up. You're muted.
He's muted.
And everything. Grim, please.
Wake up, buddy. We got work to do.
All right, sorry.
You good.
It's been a long day.
Eat the cookies that you made.
I did.
What kind of cookies?
Pot
Chocolate
cookies.
Chip.
Yeah.
What?
I wish.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies.
Chocolate chip?
Yep.
They good.
Homemade.
Hey, bro, can a brother get a bite?
Yeah.
I can ship it.
You can ship across Atlantic?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
I just attempted Polish cookie. The Galaxy.
So
how the fuck do you say
frick?
this? Yeah. I'll show you a picture while I'm looking at. Ryan, you keep going.
About the cookie or about
Quietus?
About Quietus.
Yeah.
Oh.
You eat these while you talk about Quietus.
the Quietus?
Yeah.
There
it is Latin.
are 4 types. You've got the warrior, the sorcerer, the vizier, and Well, just the advanced. So there's 3
Well,
types. That's my bad.
really, all of these are the same, but like the wording is different for each
What
one.
the fuck is my glasses? Oh,
Yeah,
right here,
so-
right in front of me.
So really, we only ever need to go for the warrior.
So the warrior. So you start off with your normal, typical stuff.
The silence of death.
Yeah,
Yeah,
typical.
silence of death. One thing that you can learn other types of Quietus.
Yeah. Because
By
they have like the Assamite sorcery.
the new rating times 4 XP
Yeah.
to learn it.
Yeah.
But we start off with the Silence of Death. The Silence of Death, many Assamites claim never to heard the target's death screams. Silence of Death imbues the vampire with a mystical silence that radiates from their body, muting all noise within a certain vicinity. No sound occurs. Go ahead.
Continue.
Inside the zone, though sounds originating outside the area of effect may be heard by anyone in it. Rumors around the certain skilled Assamite viziers who have the ability to silence a location rather than the circumference that follows them, but no proof of this has ever been forthcoming. This power, which costs a blood point, maintains a 20-foot or 6-meter radius of utter stillness around the Kidron or the vampire for 1 hour.
The D&D spell silence is how we start off.
Yeah.
Except it
First-
moves.
Yes. So the screams, the gunshots, everything is silent.
Exactly. And while you're standing in that, Venture can't use Dominate.
Yeah, because you can't hear him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I mean, it's icon that can like verbal command.
Yeah.
Oh,
I honestly would
Yes.
love that.
yeah.
Like, fucking Luis fighting like Heaven's Divide.
Sorry, señorita. I cannot hear you.
You can't use your dementation on me because I can't hear a word of what you just said.
Maybe speak a little
Yeah.
louder next time.
I mean, the Assamites also, I think, become silent or no?
Obfuscate, after all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. The Scorpion's Touch.
Scorpion's Touch. By changing the properties of their blood, a vampire may create powerful venom. Oh, it's kind of like
Sylvester. Yeah, this is your power.
yeah. This is kind of like blood sorcery.
Yeah.
Powerful venom that strips their prey of their resilience. This power is greatly feared by other kindred, and all manner of hideous tales concerning methods of delivery circulate among trembling coteries.
Yeah.
Kindred with Quietus are known to deliver the poison by coating their weapons with it, blighting their opponents with a touch, or spitting it like a cobra. Apotherical? Google Translate.
Translate.
Apocryphal.
Apocryphal. There we go. Thank you.
I got you.
An apocryphal account speaks of the proud prince who discovered an Assamite plotting their Jesus Christ exsanguination.
Yes.
Yes. Exsanguination.
And began to diabolize them, their would-be assassin. Halfway through the act, they learned that they had ingested a dire quantity of tainted blood and was then unable to resist the weakened
Hashashin.
Hashashin's renewed attack. System. To convert a bit of their blood to poison, the Kidron's player must spend at least 1 blood point and rolls willpower difficulty 6. If this roll is successful, the vampire successfully hits. And the vampire successfully hits, but not necessarily damages their opponent. The target loses a number of stamina points equal to the number of blood points converted into poison. Vampires attempting to drink the blood of the kindred with Scorpion's Touch are automatically considered to be successfully hit. The victim may resist the poison with a stamina and fortitude, difficulty 6. Successes achieved on the resistance roll subtract from the vampire's success. The maximum number of blood points a Kidron may convert at any one time is equal to their stamina. The number of successes scored indicates the duration of the stamina loss. So with 1 success, it's 1 turn. 2 successes, it's 1 hour. 3, 1 day. 4, 1 month. 5 is permanently. Those stamina may be bought back with experience. If a mortal's stamina falls to 0 through the use of Scorpion's Touch, they become terminally ill and lose any immunity to disease. Their body succumbing to the sickness within a year, unless they somehow manage to increase their stamina. If a Kidron's stamina falls to 0, the vampire enters torpor and remains that way until one of their stamina points return. If a Kidron is permanently reduced to 0 stamina, they may recover from torpor only through mystical means. To afflict someone with the poison, the Cainite must touch their target's flesh or hit them with something that carries the venom. Many Assamites lubricate their weapons with excretion, while others pool the toxin in their hands, or fleck their lips with poison, or a kiss of death, and press it to their opponents. Weapons, so envenomed must be of the melee variety. Arrows, sling stones, bullets, thrown weapons, and the like cannot carry enough to do damage, or it drips off in flight. Players whose vampire wish to spit at their targets must make a stamina athletics roll, difficulty 6. No more than 2 blood points worth of poison may be expectorated.
Yes.
And a Kidron may spit a distance of 10 feet or 3 meters for each point of strength and potence the characters possess. Vampires with Caetus are immune to their own poison, but not the blood venom of another kindred with this power.
That's
Holy fuck, that was a wall of text.
That was a wall of text,
Yeah.
but at level 2, that's ungodly powerful.
Now,
And also, I want to just imagine like there's target practice with this gift, and they just like some like young Assamite like, let's do spitting contest. Who can
Who
like
could spit their vitae further?
yeah, who can spit the vitae further and with more accuracy? It's
That's funny
training
as
and
shit.
fun.
Yeah, they probably do that now that I'm thinking about it.
Now, the fun thing is, when we got started with World of Darkness, and Ryan here played a character called Sylvester Shrek, who may or may not have been the Zodiac Killer. We never did get confirmation on that. Of course, he had committed no crimes, and all of his crimes were just. And this was the power that you used the most when we were playing
Yes,
that
it
game.
was.
And you remember just how useful this was, because we were fighting anarchs the entire game, and in case one tried to diabolize you, this was going to be a very nasty thing. But on top of that, you were starting to secrete you used this on your bullets and your knives that you used in game. And
I couldn't use it on my bullets as much as I wanted to.
But you did
the
spit it into
text says
people's mouths with a surprising amount of success.
yeah,
Absolutely, I did.
Like I
It was a
remember-
3rd level
Yeah.
discipline. In,
Yeah.
Yeah, in the fifth edition is the third level.
we
blood
made the
sorcery.
mistake of starting with 5th edition, and
I mean,
halfway-
it's good. Like
It's
for,
fine.
like,
It,
young
it was a good
vampires, it's-
introduction, but like,
Yeah. I mean, fifth edition is like good for like yeah, exactly introduction and like playing the high generation vampires.
yes.
because it was how far into it that I realized that we should have been playing V20 instead.
I think we were already like fighting the Fomori in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more. I think it's like right when we started fighting the Setites that I realized that we should have been playing V20.
I mean, that was still a pretty good fight. That was like one of the high points of the campaign was fighting the Setites in the Church of Satan.
Yeah, and they deserved what was coming to them.
Got him right there, the bastards. Is that full? I'm a fucked up monster that I am.
Now, you're wishing, Colt, that you got embraced into the Assamites instead of Gangrel.
No, in all honesty, look, I'd rather have not have been embraced, but if I had to pick, at least the Toreador would have been pretty looking.
What's next? I believe Dagon's Call is next. Now,
Yeah.
Dagon's Call is
now
next.
this one's crazy. This one's crazy when you read this.
You know, it's level 3. Remember that.
Level 3.
It was little foreshadowing.
This terrible power allows a vampire to drown their target in his own blood, their own blood. By concentrating, the Kidron bursts their target's blood vessels and fills their lungs with vitae that strangles them from within. The blood actually constricts the target's body from the inside as it floods through their system. Thus, it works even on unbreathing kindred. Until the target collapses in agony or death throes, this power has no visible effect. Jesus. And many kindred like it because it leaves no trace of their presence. God, I wish I had this for Sylvester.
You see just how ridiculous this is.
Well, now,
Yeah.
now Sylvester has a companion who can use that.
Yeah, and the Scorpion's touch exactly combines with it because it's
My-
standardized.
My favorite is actually going to be the next one, but let me get through the system first. So, the system. The vampire must touch their target prior to using Dagon's Call. Within an hour thereafter, the vampire may issue the call, though they need not be in the presence or even in the line of sight of their target. Invoking the power costs one willpower. The Kidron player must make a contested stamina roll against the target's stamina. The difficulty of each roll is equal to the opponent's permanent willpower rating. The number of successes the vampire using Dagon Call achieves is the amount of lethal damage and health levels the victim suffers. Jesus Christ.
That's fucked.
Wow.
Bomboclot! Simple
Yeah.
as this.
Yeah, you
And-
see why you don't fuck with this clan.
Yeah, they're
And it
fucking
doesn't
scary.
stop there. For an additional point of willpower spent in the next turn, the vampire may continue using Dagon's Call by engaging in another contested stamina roll. So long as the Kidron's player continues to spend willpower, the character may continue rending her opponent from within. Jesus Christ, that can go on forever.
How
Yeah,
much
as long as you
willpower
succeed.
does Malkov have?
Yeah, just imagine dying from this. Like your throat's filling up with blood that you just can't spit out because whenever it does, it immediately fills right back up with blood.
Yep. Well, that's one thing I forgot to ask about the previous about Scorpion's touch. Does the Garrow gift resist toxin work on that?
You better hope it does.
Yes.
I mean, why it should work on Dagon's Call is just like your own blood. It's your
Yeah.
own toxin. That's right. I mean, if you use Scorpion Touch before and you're using this, I could allow it as a storyteller, but without using Scorpion Touch, nah.
Yeah. But Dagon's Call is fucking scary. You literally just like all your blood, it's in your stomach now. Good luck.
And you really are condemning somebody to like a nasty death when you use this on them.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It was like, how much willpower does Malkov have?
Yes.
A shit ton.
Probably a
So
lot.
imagine, imagine like one character sheet and it's like all willpower.
Well, there.
But we're not done yet, buddy. We got more.
Yep. When I got this at level 5, it became for blood sorcery. It became I used it more than I used Scorpion Touch, and that's
Yeah.
Ball's Caress.
In 5th edition, it's just power up, but in this,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
It's a level 4,
That was not a single combat encounter where you did not use this.
right?
Yeah.
It is. It's just so fucking good. Okay, so the penultimate use of blood as a weapon, short of Diablerie itself. Baal's Crest allows the Kidron to transmute their blood into a virulent ichor that destroys any living or undead flesh it touches. In Knights of Yore, when Assamites led the charges of Saracen legions,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're doing well.
the assassins were often seen licking their blades, slicing open their tongue, and lubricating their weapons with this foul secretion. Baal's Crest may be used to augment any bladed weapon, everything from poisoned knives and swords to tainted fingernails and claws has been reported. System. Baal's Crest does not increase the damage done by any given weapon, but that the weapon inflicts aggravated damage rather than normal. No roll is necessary to activate this power, but one blood point is consumed per hit. For example, if a K-Knight poison hits his knife and strikes his opponent, even if it inflicts no damage, one blood point's worth of lubrication disappears. For this reason, many vampires choose to coat their weapons with a significant quantity of blood. If the vampire misses, no tainted blood is consumed. This is really toned down than the
5th
blood
edition?
sorcery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
in 5th edition, this is incredibly busted. But even so, this is still a game ender when this is being used against you.
Yeah.
The 5th edition, it can potentially cause a vampire to go into torpor.
Or you get shot by this once, and that's it. You might as well just consider that character dead for the rest of the campaign.
Mm.
Yeah, this shit fucks you up for life.
Yeah, it's like one slash and then you're just fucking dead.
Yeah.
Now, the fun thing with all these different powers is that you notice with the two vampires directly started by Cain, how their children get absolutely broken powers. And it was chemistry with Ravnos. It's Quietus with
Hakeem.
With Assamite.
yeah, Hakim. And you understand that why both those clans were independent for so long.
Yeah, because they were strong enough to be so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except the Ravnos got fucked up at the Week of Nightmares.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, the Ravnos suffered a heavy loss, but
And
you
there
know,
is the second generation Anoya, and who knows what happens to her.
yeah, Anoia, where you got Protean, and that's pretty good, but it pales in comparison to just what you can do with Quietus in terms of combat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Protean is
chemistry
very
with
nice for
everything else.
utility, but like it does not shine in combat.
Yeah. And
The final
we've
one.
got
Taste
one.
of Death.
Yeah, this.
The last one. A level 5 discipline. A refinement of Baal's Crest, Taste of Death allows the Canaanite to spit caustic blood at their target. The blood coughed forth with this power burns flesh and corrodes bone. Some vampires have reported to vomit voluminous streams of vitae that reduce their targets to heaps of sludge. You know, that kind of reminds me of if a kindred eats normal food, how they have to
Yeah.
spit it up and it
Yeah,
comes
like
out of
in
like
What
blood.
Do We Do in the Shadows movie? Like
Yeah.
he ate the fry and then just vomits.
All you gotta do is eat humans' food, and any blood that comes out, you can just taste to death it. System. The vampire may spit up to 10 feet or 3 meters for each dot of strength and potence they possess. Hitting the target requires a stamina and athletics roll, difficulty 6. Each blood point spewed at the target inflicts 2 dice of aggravated damage. And there is no limit, other than the vampire's capacity and per turn expenditure of maximum, to the quantity of blood with which a target may be deluged.
Hold up. 2 dice of aggravated damage.
Yes.
What happens when you
every
roll
point.
2 10s?
Yep.
That's Yeah.
Yeah, you now get multiple choice damage, where
Ah.
It can either
Depending on-
singe your jacket or reduce you to paste.
imagine getting hit with this, and it's you roll 2 10s.
What
and
enemy?
Yep.
That's just a puddle of Vitae.
See, look, we had a problem over there. I threw up on it, and now there is no longer a problem over there.
This giving you flashbacks to the Fomori comic at the start of Freak Legion.
That's what I was thinking of. Like, this is the same as, like, what are the ones that vomit all over people? I forget what they were called.
The sick lungs.
Yeah, sick lungs.
Yeah.
That's what this is, but better.
See, Mom, can we have Banu Haqim? We have Banu Haqim at home. Banu
the sick
Haqim at home
lungs.
is the sick lungs.
Yeah, and at home was just Famori family.
Bro, Fomori families are fucked up. I want to fit one in Rage Across Appalachia, but I'm not sure where to put them.
I would be delighted to tear your Fomori family apart with the road.
Yeah, I know. I'm wondering about the rest of the party, though.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, Rapred, are you filling in for Ham for Rage Cross Appalachia?
Well, you spoiled the surprise, so I guess we're going to tell him now. Whatever game that Ham doesn't join, I was considering inviting you for it.
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
'cause-
you didn't tell me that was supposed to be a secret, bro.
Yeah. See, I was going to pop it on him right when we finish New York, but
Yeah, maybe
This will give him
we
more
gonna
time to
discuss
prepare and
this.
consider.
Yeah. Maybe we discuss this after the video. Okay.
Got it. Yeah, and the fun thing with the Assamite thaumaturgy is that they have a completely unique path all for themselves. Now, Ryan, they do have a couple of paths that are reskinned.
They do.
Yeah, because I sent you a few where the Path of Blood is the most obvious one, where if you play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and you play as the Tremere, and then you just suck a guy's blood out from him while you're standing 30 feet away from him, the Assamites can do that. So if you're in the middle of a fight, you can just feed on somebody from your herd in the middle of combat, and then go right back to fighting whoever you're up against.
Nice.
Good having a spare blood bag around.
Or diabolize from a distance.
I mean, you could. With Blood Sorcerer, you could.
Oh yeah, with Blood Sorcery. And then they have another one, the Hands of Destruction.
Hands of Destruction. Which one? What does that do?
That's the thaumaturgy path. It lets you clean house. I mean, with the name like Hands of Destruction, what do you think it does?
I'm
Destroys
guessing
hands.
you destroy things with your hands.
Or the fingerprints.
Or, and hear me out, you destroy hands.
Destroy hands.
Yeah,
It is.
hands and fingerprints.
Alright, so
All at
you
once.
guys have seen My Hero Academia, right?
I've seen some of it,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
You remember-
I mean, up to 6 seasons, but yeah.
You remember Shigaraki's power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that
everything
is.
Dash.
Oh, he
That's what that
just
is.
decays
Nice.
people.
Seriously, it's like
Yes.
the 5th power in the series. Like, oh, you watch My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Oh, Shigaraki is his power, and it's like
Yeah.
for the 6th time.
Yeah. Just making sure you get my references. I make a reference sometime and Kyle doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, you do have a lot of references. Granted, I do too.
And
I have not.
I have puns.
they have
He does.
one more. Actually, they have two more, but we'll go over one more. Lure of Flames is another one they have. Where,
Lure of Flames.
These guys didn't need to be pyromancers, but now they are. Where if you thought these guys were strong, behold, they could just make a fireball and fling it at you and then burn you to death from a distance. And the minute,
No,
yeah,
the house have fire accident, like gas leak.
the-
And it's,
the-
now
the-
it's flame.
Oh, you see what happened with Mr. Smith. He had a little accident. His house burned down in his sleep. Very sad.
Yeah.
The gas leak.
And I swear there's one more on here that really comment. Path of Conjuring. That's what I was looking for.
What?
Path of Conjuring, where you can just, I don't know, you don't have a sword? Well, guess what? You can just summon a sword out of your hand with blood. And you can
All
just,
right, that's metal as fuck.
yeah, but you can just make objects to fight people with.
That's cool as shit. I should
but
have done that.
they have one. They have a path of thaumaturgy that is exclusive to them. Nobody else gets this. It's called the Awakening of Steel. We start with level 1, Confer the Blade, where the number of successes determined in your roll gives you information on a weapon's history. You can touch a blade, you can learn when it was made, what the metal it's made out of, the metal it's constructed out of is, who has held it in their lifetime, and whether or not this will be a worthy weapon for you. You can just get all information about a weapon just from looking at it. Level 2, we get Grasp of the Mountain, where for the rest of the scene, no matter what kind of disarm or larceny roll is made against you, you will never lose your blade from your grasp. Now that sounds kind of lame, but wait until you encounter an NPC that's got a ton of points in larceny.
Yeah.
It's very situational,
They-
though, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take note from the World Eaters book and they like chain their weapon to their forearms.
Exactly. You wonder why Karn has that big chain wrapped around his arm.
Kratos.
And you know why Sigismund has that chain.
Yeah, Sigismund deserved his death.
Erebus deserves more deaths.
Yeah.
I like Ryan's joke better where he said it was Kratos.
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 Next up is Pierce Steel Skin, where with your weapon that you've bonded with, you can just immediately shred through a guy's suit of armor. I mean, like, their armor rating is reduced to 0 with one strike.
Oh, that's mega useful. Okay.
That's great.
There is,
Yeah.
and with
Yeah.
Scorpion's touches, like you don't have soaking from armor, you don't have soaking from your own stamina, you're just dead.
So
You
behold,
know how easy Ruslan, we'd be able to take on Ruslan?
yeah, this is why you don't fuck with the Assamites.
Yeah, they're fucking scary.
See, next up is Raise Your Shield, which pretty much gives you automatic success on all of your parry rolls. This includes with getting shot with bullets. So,
All right.
behold, you can now do the anime move where you just slash a bullet out of the sky after you use that discipline.
Yeah. Or you can
And-
feel like Deadpool in Deadpool 2.
There you go. And lastly, we got Strike at the True Flesh, where if you want a guaranteed critical hit, well, behold, just pay up a blood point, and then behold, that guy is dead. You do need a sword for that, though, but it's a guaranteed kill shot whenever you use that, to paraphrase it.
Does that include a butter knife, or does it have to be like an actual sword?
I would assume a butter knife, because you have lore character Jani, which is spelled Janni, that is the Master of Weapons, where she killed a man with a teacup once.
That's a Chronicle of Riddick reference. I don't want to goddamn
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
I'll kill you in Monte.
And yeah, that's kind of crazy shit you can get into with Assamite sorcery. But how do Assamites feel about other clans? Now it's time for relationships.
Yes.
We
It's time to talk about everybody the fuck else.
You get to talk about this. I get to take my funny pills.
Yep. The funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm gonna head out. So I can
What?
go to bed. Yeah.
Alright, fuck you, Graham. We're going to talk about relationships without you then.
Yeah. I'm
Alright.
sorry, guys.
It's
Uh, you,
alright, bro.
you sound like hammered shit, dude. You snooze.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah.
Alright,
Peace.
take
Alright,
care,
later,
people. Have a nice dream.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So for the relationship, we're going to start with the Camarilla. As far as the Camarilla goes, they basically hold the entire clan in widespread contempt. Granted, they hate most, if not all, kindred, but in particular, they don't like the Camarilla for obvious reasons. They tried to, fuck up everything that they do. They're, spawn of Cain. They tried to attack the mountain. Fuck the Camarilla.
Mhm.
The
We
only
fuck-
good thing about them
We
is
hate
they.
Manufika.
What's up?
We hate Manufika.
Yes.
And that's it.
It's also kind of good for them because the Camarilla are also in constant internal strife, and it never wiped out the Assamites when it had the chance. The Rafik would not have been so merciful had the positions been reversed. Starting off, we have the Bruja. This book is interesting because it has like a mix of first-hand accounts from a Assamite as well as short passages of something that that the author themselves wrote. From this account, fighting is the Brujah's main weakness, and it's served them very well. They are, as the book reads, useful idiots. But when you do get a Bruja cornered, they will fight for their goddamn life. They're very good when they're cornered. Moving on, we have the Caitiff. They really don't.
I was going to say,
What's up?
You can have a really fun fight between the Assamites and the Bruja because they both have similarity.
Yep. It's
Yeah,
basically
and-
Dante versus Virgil.
Yeah. I mean, with Bruja, they're like glass cam. When, the Assamites are like typical rogues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because did I ever show you that video of like the guy who did the tool-assisted speed run of Fox versus Falco?
I think I have seen that on like, sudden death where they're just like constantly just chipping at each other.
Yeah, exactly that. Where they're like using like Foxfire and Fox Flash over and over. That's what that's your average fight between Banu Haqim and Bruja.
I am the star that is a... Sorry.
Yeah, and from the all interactions, like throughout the videos, I like feel like Bruja are like Fianna of the vampires. Like they were good, but they're not shitty and we don't know how to deal with it.
Bruh. I already got to deal with Ryan talking shit about me. Now I got you too.
I mean, the Fianna are not as bad, I mean, they were good, but they followed the grace and they don't know what they now do.
Yeah.
Simply as that.
Yeah.
And that's Bruja.
To be fair,
the grace and don't know what they're doing.
I'm a
you
sucker
used to be
for
geniuses, now you're drug addicts.
To be fair, I'm a sucker for underdog groups that have fallen on hard times. So I picked Gangrel out of stupidity when I was playing fucking Vampire, and I wish I would pick something else. But
I could see you loving the Cappadocians in the near future.
I don't know if we cover them, but they're fugly as shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The Caitiff. They don't have a very high opinion about the Caitiff. They are the lowest of the Munafiqin. They are bastard children, no lineage, often ignorant, and this can make them very willing pawns. They know to exploit the injustice of the Caitiff in order to make them very useful tools in their plans.
Yeah, and I think Caitiffs are like out of like Manufika and Camarilla and every sex, they the most hate like singularities because Cain didn't also have a clan.
Yeah.
Then they have like specific banes and disciplines. So like Caitiffs are like the manifestation of little Cains. So they're like, we have to kill them.
And thanks to the whole transformation of the Curse of Cain, it's only ever going to get worse because the Caitiff sire, and then they create Thin Bloods. And eventually we're going to get to the age of the Thin Blood, where that's an apocalypse scenario in of itself.
Yeah. I mean, Gehenna.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gehenna scenario itself.
I love Gehenna.
Yeah, so...
is the hell on earth.
Yeah. Next, we got the Gangrel. They believe that their closeness to animals is very unclean, and they are dangerous for all their protestations of innocence. They mostly keep to themselves. They're scattered across most of the earth, which the Assamites think is a good thing because it keeps them from getting too dangerous. So basically, like, because the Gangrel are so far apart from each other and they don't organize and they'd rather live out in the woods and, live out in the woods, eat the deer, and be happy, then they don't really worry about them all that much.
A bunch of weirdos who are off by themselves.
I mean, I don't know why they joined Camarilla in the first place, but they're vampires, so you have to kill them. But
Look, after I've been out in the woods all week just hunting, I'd like a place to crash and take a shower. All right.
And on top of that, they're on again, off again with the Camarilla, where they've been the number 7 clan of the Camarilla, but then sometimes they'll leave, and then the Camarilla becomes 6, and then they come back, and then they leave again. It's strange. It's very strange with them.
Basically, the Gangrel just occasionally need a couch to surf on.
Yes.
Which I kind of respect.
Oh no, there will be sun soon, and I don't go to the forest across the city. Well, I have to sleep in the city.
Yep. It's like, all right, I guess I'll go fucking kiss up to Adventurers, so I got a place to crash place to crash this morning.
You just dig a hole and bury yourself in it and then sleep in that for the night.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable though. This is one of the instances in the book in which it's split between the narrator of the book and the author of the book, is the Malkavians. It was written in the Quran that it's blessed to show mercy and compassion to someone whose mind is broken, just as the righteous would not harm the blind or lame. But it's hard to be charitable when when a Malkavian's hung around and just been a dick. So basically, there's a bunch of contradictions to the Assamite attitude towards the Malkavians. Their attitude,
because they.
sorry, yeah. So, the attitude of the Malkavians towards the Malkavians inspires a lot of contempt, but at the same time, many of the Rafiq have been raised according to Islam, which they believe that someone who's a lunatic should be treated with kindness. And even in the book, it recounts that older Assamites are inclined to treat Malkavians with more indulgence than many think they deserve. And many non-fatal pranks are going to be overlooked. So they're kind of flip-flop with the Malkavians. Basically, they're willing to put up with them because they know they're insane, but it's hard to be patient around them.
Yeah, and in the second edition.
First edition, I said, yeah.
No, second edition.
Oh, second edition.
Was said that Hakim was actually the Toreador Antediluvian. The name?
Arakel.
Arakel was his quote-unquote sister. So I think, if they say it's true, they biologically, family, so also Malakav, so also Malkavians. I don't know, it's their sister, maybe he's their uncle, because all, they went from the first city.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there could be they are family, genetic family, from the life. They could be. I mean, the first city was not millions of people, right?
Yeah.
So there was possibility that some of the antediluvians were literally siblings and uncles, aunts, father's sons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that would give an explanation as to why when Hakim came back to the second city, Malkav was waiting for him at the door and then welcomed him into the city with open arms.
Yeah, it's my favorite uncle. And he's like, oh yeah, this guy.
It's my favorite uncle. I run the family business now after we chased Cain and his kids out, and now the city's mine, and I'm going to hire my uncle because nepotism.
Yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works. Anyway, moving on from that, we have the Nosferatu. Don't despise the ugly ones because they are worthy opponents. They, much like the Assamites, know the value of brotherhood, and their skills are almost as great as their own. Remember when you see nothing, remember that you might be looking at a Nosferatu. But they still serve the princes and deserve neither trust nor mercy. Basically, they have a sort of begrudging respect for the Nosferatu just because of how skilled they are at subterfuge and gathering information. But they still serve the Camarilla, so you still can't trust them, and you're going to kill them.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, the Nosferatu, I think, only with obfuscate as a discipline, or am I wrong?
Obfuscate.
Obfuscate as a discipline.
Yeah, they have obfuscate as a discipline, and they've pretty much perfected obfuscate.
Yeah, but besides the Nosferatu and Assamite, there's anyone else with this gift specifically?
The Setites.
The Setites.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's
this triangle of love and hate. Assamite love and respect, not love. They respect what they did with obfuscate. Okay, so you want the camouflage standoff.
Yes.
And they look like Setites and get the fuck out of here. You're not invited.
Yeah, basically.
And they bring up in second edition too, the Book of Nod. They say, in the first of Nod, the Book of Nod, the Nosferatu clan will be the first to die, according to that prophecy. So the entirety of the Assamites are keeping an eye on the Assamites, and they're waiting. No, the Assamites are keeping an eye on the Nosferatu, and they're waiting for the Nosferatu to die, because the minute they die off, that's one day closer they're getting to the return of Cain and their destiny to be the ones
It's like
to.
death of Baldur or Balder.
Yeah.
Just stepping stone to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
To Gehenna.
Because they're not in any rush for them to die, but they have the entire clan on death watch.
They're keeping an eye on them.
And thanks to the return of Absimiliard as of the whole Baba Yaga saga, that day's coming. It's almost here.
Yep. So we have a short passage on the Tremere because they don't have a whole lot to say about them.
Yeah,
they believe
they tried to fuck them over.
Yeah, they believe of all the Munafikun, they're the most worthless. They're weak with vanity and pride, and you won't get any glory from killing them. That's it. Tremere. A lot more to say about the Tremere. You can hate the witches as much as you would because they're the worst of their enemies. They have a great vengeance for the curse that they put on them that made them addicted to vampire blood. Their sorcery is very strong and their weaknesses are few. As the book says, while they exist, we are forever in danger. They hate the Tremere. They don't.
Who doesn't hate the Tremere?
That's fair. They are.
Even the Tremere hate the Tremere.
That's fair.
Exactly.
Tremere and Assamites are natural enemies, like Tremere and Zamichi, or Tremere and Lasombra, or Tremere and Tremere. Those damn Tremere. Anyway,
another Simpson reference. Nice.
Yep. It was the epic fireball fight between Goratrix and Atreus.
Yes. As the author himself recounts, the Tremere are one of the few clans that don't inspire contempt, but rather unremitting hatred. The 7 elders of the clan are exempt from the tradition that no second attempt be made to assassinate one who has defeated an Assamite. As John, you said earlier, several carefully planned attacks have been mounted against the Chantry of Vienna, so far without success.
Because Vienna is locked up tight. Like, dog, you're not the first to try to take down Vienna. That house is built to stand.
Yes, it is.
And one of the biggest fuck ups in 5th edition was you let the House of Vienna fall. Like, Justin, did you see what you just fucking wrote? This is so fucking stupid. But on top of that, with the Tremere segment, they say in 2nd edition that the Tremere are like, it gives them it reminds them as to why they're fighting, because these guys were a man-made vampire clan. They stole their heritage from the Salubri, and it's man's avarice of the worst men possible that led to the creation of the Tremere. And it would be better for humanity if the Tremere died today.
Yes.
They are waiting.
Not for humanity, for everyone.
Yeah, not just for everybody. Because once again, this is a parasite clan. They are waiting for the opportunity to kill every Tremere. Like, even the guys in the Camarilla cannot wait to get their hands around the necks of the Tremere and strangle them all to death.
I honestly, good on them. Like, I think we even said in the Tremere videos, like, the moral of the story is always fuck the Tremere.
Because, those might be the most evil bastards in World of Darkness, because you killed Salat, and we will never get over that.
I don't know. Zamichi holds a very compelling argument.
Yeah, well, at the same time, I can't really get mad at Zamichi because of how well he planned that long game.
Yes.
Yeah. But with Tremere, I think the relationship with Assamites are like just, you fuck the Assamites, now the Assamite's gonna fuck you.
Yes.
Yep, basically. Moving on from that, we have the Ventru. They're probably the greatest fools of the Munafikun. Their hunger for power lets them use them very, very well, and the Ventru think that they're using the Assamites, but they are the weakness by which the Camarilla will be destroyed. the Ventru would be very dismayed to learn that they don't rank highly on the Assamite's list of enemies. But they are very, very good customers and the Assamite's favorite pawns. They're incredibly easily manipulated by appealing to their ambition.
It
And
doesn't matter what you do, you're always number 2.
yeah, it's really funny.
So something I thought was hilarious about the La Sombra, I didn't bring it up just to keep the brain joke going about the La Sombra getting dunked on. Back when the Anarch Revolt started, the La Sombra came over to the Assamites, and they asked the Assamites first to join them in the Anarch Revolts so they could make the Sabbat. And
some of them joined. That's why it's assassinated.
Some of them did join the Sabbat, but the clan as a whole said, "No, we can take the camera on by ourselves. We don't need you."
I mean, they probably could if they kept recruiting.
You remember? You could just imagine like what a blow that would be to their egos, just be told no to their face like that.
Yes, definitely.
It's like the best quote of the Roger Dorn.
Yes.
No, that's the
And
best quote.
I imagine they also looked over and said, "Hey, aren't you guys Catholic and you guys are like currently in the middle of the Crusades?"
No,
No, that wasn't us. No.
That's
that's
what
funny.
Cappadocia.
Okay. The Sabbat. The Sabbat is more so viewed with caution rather than contempt, mostly because it is less prone to internal dissension, or at least less willing to allow dissent, and because a majority of its members are incredibly dangerous opponents. The Assamite anti-tribu are a very important point of contact with the Sabbat, and the clan has been known to work with the Sabbat in order to weaken the Camarilla power. For the most part, the clan intends that the Camarilla and the Sabbat should carry on just fucking each other over until the Assamites are strong enough to destroy both of them. Starting from the top, we have La Sombra.
Yeah.
For the La Sombra, this is going to be a curveball based on what we just said. If the Ventru were more like the La Sombra, we would have greater to fear the Camarilla. Or more likely, we should have all perished rather than merely being cursed. But their weakness is the same, for they love power more than blood. But beware of them. They're very wary and not easily used. Surprisingly decent things to say about the La Sombra.
Well, at the same time, how dangerous are the La Sombra really if Fatima could kill Moncada?
That's fair.
And the La Sombras and Cappadocians were the only one who stayed in the area of Balamut to fight the Assamites.
Exactly.
So they know, like, they have greater willpower than Ventru because they're like, oh, we can't fight them out, we're gonna go home. But La Sombra stayed, and that's saying something.
Yes. Okay.
Is it?
Next this is a faction we don't hear a whole lot about. The Serpents of the Light. They're given the name.
They're Salubri, I think.
Yeah, no,
Salubri?
Setites.
No, Setites are in here under a different thing. Serpents of the Light, I think, is Salubri.
Yeah, the Serpents of the Light are the Setite anti-tribu. That
okay.
Because they're Setite anti-tribu, they spit so hard in the face of the clan that they were part of that they might as well be another clan entirely.
Yeah. It says they're given the name of the Cobra, but they're as dangerous as any snake. Even the Unconquered need to be aware of them. They're very strong, they're very skilled, and they will become stronger still and need to be looked over with care. Proud is the Rafik who ends one of these, for they are tigers in the grass, a most dangerous quarry. Serpents of the Light are fucking strong. And then we're
all
what's up?
Presence, Obfuscate, and Auspex. So that's a very good discipline combination. No, not Auspex, Serpentis. Yeah.
Yeah, Serpentis. And they have more discipline than any other Setite. They can focus on the task at hand, so they are dangerous.
Yeah, because they're not addicted to child pornography and drugs.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
If you had the Setites with their shit together, they'd be dangerous.
Yes.
Okay.
If the guys who actually like noticed the worm enemy and were actually fighting it.
Yes.
They were like, oh, cool, like some BDSM stuff, and some guy works with children, and they're like, no, we don't do this, and they just go out.
Yeah, hey, you want to come to my party? Like, Kanye West is going to be there. Whoa, Kanye? Are going to be bitches there? Yeah, there's going to be bitches there. And then you go over and it's the Setites running it.
Yeah, and then you have to go and fucking light the place on fire.
Jump into the ocean, swim out there as fast as you can.
Yep.
Wait a minute, how was that path that made fireballs? Assamite.
Yeah, Laura Flames.
Yeah, a lot of flames.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. Okay, then we got the Zamichi. They're very useful because they often fuck up the Osamra's plans, but only the most wary Rafik may use them as pawns because they are very wise and very alert. And their sorcery is almost as powerful as the Tremere. Some say that they are no more Tremere in the clothes of a Sabbat, but be very careful around them. They're dangerous, as we talked about in the Zamichi video.
Yes.
Yeah, the sorcery they referring to is called Dunic sorcery. If
Yeah.
I
Where,
remember.
yeah, and you have to talk to Banes in order to get that sorcery.
Yeah,
Yep.
pure death.
The
Power
Yep.
by death.
Yeah, this is the exact kind of vampire that the Assamites were put here to fight.
Yes. Next, we got the Sabbat Anti-Tribu. They mainly rabble, but they eschew the Kafir beliefs of Camarilla. They're still fools, but they're dangerous fools. That's about it.
Yeah.
The
You couldn't cut it in your current clan, so you had to quit and join the Sabbat.
Yeah, basically. The Setites. They're the most unclean of the Munafikun. They're as hateful to the world as their plagues and poisons. Crush them underfoot whenever you discover them, even though no blood may be yours for the deed. Fuck the Setites. They're disgusting. Kill them.
I mean,
Yep.
These guys had like a portion in the Setites book where the Setites were saying, "Oh, finally, Egypt is free from the Sunstars, so you can go back to ruling everything." Nope, we gotta worry about the Assamites who just walked right in after you got rid of the Sunstriders.
Yep, and then proceeded to kill everything they looked at.
Assamite just there's a snake in my boot, and just destroy the boot with the snake in it.
It really is that like Undertaker meme, like the wrestler with the smoke in the background, where it says, Setites, after seeing that Egypt is all for themselves, Assamite immigrants crossing the border."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. We're going to go, sell people into human trafficking. We're going to do all kinds of weird drugs.
That is very haram of you.
Did I say something about? Did I hear about something haram?
Sounds like you're about to start sinning.
Yep. Next we got the Giovanni. They're very secret, and they almost never require the services of the Assamites. They don't appear dangerous, but they're as absorbed they are in everything they do. But necromancy isn't to be trusted. Watch them very carefully, because you never know when they're going to advance their knowledge of death, so that the Tajdid, did I say that right?
Yes.
Tajdid may benefit, or the balance of power within the Kafir will be disturbed. Basically, just be careful around them, because watch them very carefully if you can, because you never know when they're going to do something or say something that will, benefit the clan. So just keep an eye on them.
Yeah. Necromancy
well,
is very
no,
powerful.
So glad you can make it over here, man. Come over here, sit down with me. I want to discuss a contract with you.
Very well.
No, man, this is spaghetti especially for you. This is called the assassin spaghetti. I've been working all day on the marinade sauce. Here, give it a little try.
All'assassino.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, so you've been looking up your Italian, man. Oh, thank you. You're not coming over to my conversation with Ugats.
Yes.
Sorry,
but you
No,
said
that
that
was
so
great.
fast and like holy fuck. Did I understand the English? Okay, I just say first
Yes.
word.
Okay.
Yes.
I just to ask Assamites like sitting there patiently with their hands on their laps, listening to the Giovanni ramble.
Basically,
If I was Assamite and they will put and I have married food eater, I would eat the food.
I imagine it
gonna say-
tastes
I-
incredible.
Yes.
All'assassina is vegetarian,
Yeah.
but it's very hot. Very paprika,
Yeah.
pepper, chili flakes, and chili and everything
Yeah.
in one pan. It's
Yeah.
good, but it should twice. It's the
Yeah.
Al Assassina for a
Yeah,
reason.
You also got the Naples harlot spaghetti, which is also spicy.
It reminds me of there's this guy that does YouTube Shorts Meals by Cooge, and he was
Yeah.
making he was just making a burger in his dorm, and he was like, "We're using grass-fed beef, basically a salad by the laws of physics. How you doing?" Fucking love Cooge. Okay, Ravnos, liars and thieves, even amongst themselves. The most contemptible of all, there's no honor in dealing with them, even if that be killing them. Fuck the Ravnos.
No, the West Ravnos, the East Ravnos, I think they would accept. They would tolerate.
The
Because they never
Assamites,
accepted it.
you know what you're talking about, Assamites.
The Assamites
Yeah, they
have
just
no
neighbors
goddamn
with-
sense of
with
humor.
one thing. It's like they're gonna shit about the guys who they met in Europe. Like they don't have neighbors Ravnos, just right there.
Yeah.
Who like fight the Holy War.
Speaking of which, the Holy War Ravnos, they talk about them in second edition and say, yeah, it was a mistake to underestimate these guys.
Yeah.
We probably get along better with them than we do with any other clan. And
Yeah.
as of second edition, the Ravnos started hiring Assamites to help them fight the Kuei Jin.
I like that. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
If there's one clan...
that's a nice plan for campaign.
Yeah.
If there's one clan that I think could stand up and eventually beat the Kuei Jin, it would have to be the Assamites.
There is one issue with them, is that the Ravnos will keep trying to cheat you out of what they owe you, because you got to count the money that they give you at the end of the job and like make sure it is the amount they promised.
Yeah, and it's not just like the chocolate coins that he made with chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta bite,
You know.
you gotta bite the corns. You gotta unfold every bill.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
We've basically covered all the vampire clans. Now we're moving on to all the other interesting things in the World of Darkness, starting off with lupines and other shape changers. So, the Assamites haven't really dealt a whole lot with lupines, and they've had a few dealings with them for a number of different reasons. But they share a struggle against the other Cainites, the Munafikun, with the task of rebuilding the clan's strength. But the Assamites themselves see that hunting lupines brings you no blood, no glory, and no greater closeness to the ancestors. Basically, fighting a werewolf is just a waste of time. Try to avoid them if you can. However, the Black Hand will join the lupines in order to kill other vampires. They've had a couple of dealings with other shape changers, like the Rafik have had a few run-ins watching the Bastet campaigns in the Amazon, but that's about their extent of it.
I mean, after all, that horribly dropped and killed plot point of the Society of Needhog with the Shadowlords. So, yeah, that's what they're referring to, and then that plot point just didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the other shape changers, which includes the Naga.
Yeah.
I think Coyote has like some coyotes have like I know, some kind of game, some kind of betting game, like who's gonna assassinate better, Naga or Assamite? And then like, you know, in which favor there is, and like they watching like from the Umbra television.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Assamites, the Assamites versus the Naga versus the Euthanatos.
Who's
I
the better
don't know.
assassin?
You Thanatos. Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
The Death Mages.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
They also say in second edition, they pretty much like reiterate that they say just don't with the changing breeds. Just don't. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough men to deal with the shape changers. Just focus
Just
on the
leave them
vampires.
be.
Get that done. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Mages. Speaking of, some mages know of the Assamites, and some, as we talked about earlier, have been recruited for the Tajdid. Although, unless they are a threat, you can largely ignore mages. Mages are occasionally protected from the Munafikun in order to, like, some Assamites will go to great lengths in order to prevent a mage from being embraced by a Tremere, because the last thing they want is for there to be more Tremere, because that's the last thing anybody needs, because fuck Tremere. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about the size of it.
Yeah. They don't bring up any mages by name in second edition, so it's a reiterated point.
Yep.
It's kind of like a shame too because Alashwad, what proto tradition was he a part of?
Alshwad
wow.
with his.
He was embraced first century, so I'm tempted to say he was hermetic because he spent a ton of points in the forces.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, in forces it could be or the no in forces. I thought
Yeah.
about the matter, but
Yeah.
like the matter
Oh.
of the light.
Yeah,
But,
it matters more about constructing stuff.
I
From what I
mean, you
understand.
can use both to build something destructive.
Yeah, you can like build the massive firebomb and have it sit there for a little bit before it explodes in the magma.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then after that we have wraiths. A few Assamites, typically sorcerers, deal openly with wraiths in order to gain information, but those dealings are very rare. Widely mistrusted are the wraiths. They don't trust ghosts. Makes sense. Fairies. They have a great amount of difficulty dealing with fairies. It's better to just avoid them. Although it's not unknown for fairies to seek out the Assamites in particular to play tricks on them because the Assamites have sticks up their asses. They cause untold damage before they're either just fought off or they just leave. The Assamites, they hate and fear fairies because they know that they're easy targets for them, just because of how uptight they are. But they really can't understand how to mend the situation without losing their virtues. They can't really level with a fairy because they're complete opposites to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think like with the old murderous intent from the Assamite, I think like, the holy crap, I forgot the name. The
Who?
the fairies, the
Yeah.
murderous intent Baraka from Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat.
The red caps.
Red caps. Oh. Yeah, I think with the all murderous intent there is, I feel like red caps would like be like this weird cousin who comes along and like Assamite like, what the fuck are you doing here? We don't want you to go away. And he's like, what's up guys? I also want to kill.
Hey, where's the murder at?
Exactly. I mean, because I lack of lore from my part, the fairies are made like from the thought, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
from the dreams of
only,
humans.
but only from the mortals.
yeah, human thoughts and
But in
imagination led to
Alamut,
it.
there are mortals in the time of the training of Embrace. So maybe they are born from the Assamite apprentice.
Well, actually, come to think of it, I think vampires can dream and they can contribute to the dreaming because I know there is a chimera that's made from the dreams of vampires. As for the name of it, it's stat block that's slipping my mind at the moment. But I know there's like vampire generated enemies.
Right.
Yeah.
Then
So-
we have
Big red cap from Alamut of Ambra.
yes.
It's just the mountain with the big teeth in the Ambra, just sitting there.
You can imagine a crazy man with a big baseball bat sitting at the bottom of your mountain.
Yeah, Danny's just chilling there.
Yeah.
When they gonna come out, I wanna see how well they kill shit.
And then we got
It's fun to play as.
Then we got mummies. Assamites are very well aware of them. It's rumored there's friendships, if not outright allegiances, with powerful mummies and high-ranking Assamites. But for the most part, they just kind of leave each other alone. Like, although coincidence has made them allies on very rare occasion. We don't get a whole lot of clans who talk. Well, clans, pharaoh breeds, anyone who talks about mummies all
Yeah.
that much.
Because they're not in Egypt when they
Yeah.
first settled with the mummies.
Yeah, it's specifically like you remember Horus, Heru from our fun little Setite story.
Yes.
He will occasionally work with an Assamite when it comes to killing Setite elders of Methuselah.
Based.
I mean, why shouldn't he? You get molested by your uncle for years. You get to call him your good uncle, your good uncle to help you out.
Yeah, basically. Okay, and finally we have mortals. It is the Assamite tradition of Takiya, as much as the kindred law of the Masquerade, which leads the Assamites to keep their existence secret from mortals. But the older Assamites have not lost sight of the fact that Hakim's purpose in creating the clan was to protect mortals from the get of Kahin. And while the younger Afik are sometimes impatient and they just want to make an army of ghouls and go open warfare, but they're held back by the Takiya and the fear that the Mutafikun might find out too much about the Assamites if it's revealed to the mortals. However, there are monster hunters that are tolerated for the most part, and the best of them can even be taken to Alamut. However, any mortal who learns too much about the Assamite needs to be destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the last one, that the mortal hunters also are included in the Alamut. Also, like, it builds up to my theory about like Hakim being the first imbued human.
Yeah. But which is where that theory comes from. But I think when you get embraced, it destroys your imbued powers upon doing so, because it obliterates your soul. But at the same time, if you have an imbued hunter, dog, embrace him. Do not kill him. Recruit that guy, because if he's found you, I'm pretty sure that's proven him to be worthy of initiation.
Yeah. Like, in alternate universe, we could say, I play with Johnny. That is the real universe. I play Johnny in the 100 Reckoning game.
Yes.
And my character, I think, if he was founded by the Assamite first, and was like, explain it, the stuff that's going to happen, they go to Alamut, he would go. He would like he would be Islamic.
Yes. You would
My character
gladly
100%.
convert.
Yeah, it's like,
Because- yeah.
oh, so you like monsters fighting monsters? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and with my character having one intelligent, he would buy into that shit.
Yes. And now we get to the portion where we get to talk about all the fun stuff mechanically in the first edition book. If we may talk about the recruitment process.
Yes, the
yeah.
embrace.
Yes.
So these guys look for three things when they look for you. Well, first of all, they need you to consent to become a vampire. Second is the interview process. They kill you if you fail this. They need to make sure that you are trained in combat scenarios. They need to make sure you can handle stress, and they need to make sure that you are going to be loyal to the Assamites. And as for training, Kyle, you brought up 7 years. They have a 7-year-long training regiment where you are under. Just make sure we're recording, by the way. I'm a little bit paranoid about this. We're still recording?
Yeah, we're still good.
All right. You go for 7 years under direct supervision by the vampire who sired you. And once those 7 years are done, you then have 7 years of loose supervision where you go on missions by yourself. And if you do all 14 years without fucking up, you are then made an official Assamite. You can start taking your own contracts.
Yeah,
if you
Because
fail,
sorry.
What?
Nah, just I want to say, like, in first edition, you train in Alamut and you don't leave Alamut in 7 years, and you are trained as a mortal in the fights. And only just in the last year they ghoul you, so you know this stuff.
Yeah.
And 7 years goes by, the whole class meets up, and some of them get turned into Assamites, and some of them they killed, and they like made into the feast.
Yeah, they basically like slowly ease you into what it means to be a Banu Haqim instead of just like embracing and throwing you into the cold water.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I think, why don't any other clan do that? Like,
well,
the Kuwait Jin, but that's different.
And the Ventru. Yes. The Ventru do have actually like a pretty long interview process where they have the Davos Convention where they sire a Ventru at that. But the thing with the Assamites is that, once again, like with the Ravnos, this is a holy war that you're getting involved in. You need to inform the guy that you're making a warrior that his salvation is lost if he wants to participate in this. We're not going to bring a guy into this that doesn't want that. Or alternatively, you can go with the Assamite approach and say there was no heaven to begin with, and this is a fight for humanity in a secular sense. And behold, what if they're capable? If they're the best of the best, just bring them right in. And like the Ravnos, they try not to embrace women. Now, occasionally, a woman is proved to be super badass and gets sired into the Banu Haqim, like Fatima.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
they say, once again, with women, you need women with heartbeats and working wombs in order to sustain the human race. That's one
Yeah.
less woman that you embrace that's making kids. So shame on you for doing that. But
I mean, also like they said that like that was the case until that year, right?
Yeah.
Like
yes,
the year of creating Banu Haqim. Like we are only 10% of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take not only like from our region, but from around the world, someone who wants to fight the cause, and no matter the gender, because we need warriors. Because Banu Haqim are right there. The Assamites need people, need warriors.
need as
Yep.
many basses as we can get our hands on. And
Yeah.
what I really like about first edition, it's kind of like written like a mail to order assassin catalog, because you start getting like all these unique rules in it. Behold, all these new rules to combat, like sneak attacks, different like aiming stuff you can do.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, new weapons.
Yeah, new weapons where they have a lot of fun, unique weapons by themselves.
Yeah.
They
Like
have like
Tara and Garot.
yeah, the heart-seeking arrow, where upon getting shot in the heart with that arrow, it just paralyzes you.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
I can imagine they can do that with their bullets.
Oh, they curve bullets like in the movie you wanted.
Yeah, or like when we were playing Warhammer, that
Yeah,
that
that
dark
fucking Xeno
that
shit.
that dark elf sniper.
I'm glad
and-
he's dead.
Yes. Spoken like a true member of the Imperium. I think I pasted that picture twice, didn't I? No, I think that's fine. But yeah, they have a powder that they make out of their own blood. They synthesize this powder out of their own blood, and they will blow it into the eyes and into the throat of those who come in contact with. There's like a mortal version of it that slowly begins to kill you, and it suffocates you when it gets into your system. But then they have a vampire version where it causes your blood to clog, and you can do jack shit to fight this Assamite that's now right in your face.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fucking
well-
scary.
Clogs your body. Actually, clogs your blood.
Yeah,
You throw that onto the vampire. That is like the heart of heart. The Silent Strider gift.
yeah, the damn the heart flood.
Yeah, it mechanically works as that, or no?
Yeah, I think it's close
it-
to
oh,
that.
Oh yeah, it works exactly like that.
Yep.
Oh fuck!
Yeah. So
Assamites
Yeah.
are just better Silent Striders.
yeah, so I'm not sure why are you doing getting this gift that you have to be level 3 for. Just buy the powder from the Banu Haqim.
I thought Damn the Heart Flow was like a rank 5 gift.
It's
It's-
4.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
4?
I thought it was 3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's 4.
We made that a
I
clip
think.
on our YouTube channel. We should know this.
Yes.
Well, better check it.
Let's see. And one more fun little thing about the Assamites. More fun little thing. I saw it. I posted like that little contracts thing. Yeah, it's exactly right with the contract. Once again, you get hired by a client. You still have to follow the Karad, the Karad, but while you are hired by a client, that client is pretty much your boss. What they say goes. Customer service first. We need to make sure we have a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee policy with the Assamites.
Yeah.
But on top of that, some of these pre-made characters, Kyle, take a look at how wild some of these concepts can get.
Yeah, hang on.
Because yeah, we got Tony Stark as our first character.
Oh, hang on. The
Playboy. Yeah,
Yep.
but I prefer Crocodile Dandy.
Oh, the Playboy.
line.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
No. Crocodile Dandy is another archetype.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
the sportsman.
huntsman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sportsman.
Yeah. Behold, if you want to be a hunter of men, here you go.
Right. On Assamite.
See, and next up is your pretty standard Banu Haqim with the mercenary, where whenever you're thinking Banu Haqim, this is the first thing that comes to my mind. The Merc.
I mean, with Assamites, with Banu Haqim, I would go with Holy Warrior as archetype.
Eagle
Mhm.
Scouts to ROTC, Service and Legion.
And seeing like one more fun archetype. You have this character. I took the time to read this one, the Gamester. Behold, esports playing Banu Haqim.
Oh, I thought it was Faye Valentine for a second there.
Yeah. And you look at this character, and it's somebody who got into lockpicking and hacking security systems from video games and tried hacking into an Assamite hideout, only for the Assamite to say, "How'd you do that?" And then realize that there was a business to be made in hacking security systems for assassinations, and thus began the recruitment process for making her an assassin.
I don't know. I kind of like this whole Avenger one just because it looks like Max Payne.
And one more fun little thing to bring up with the Assamites. And just one more fun little thing. Let's see here. Kyle, you remember that moment like you're about to say something that's going to go somewhere and then you fucking forget what you were about to say?
Yeah, I've had that happen to me a lot recently.
Yeah.
Every time, like
Yeah.
just 10 minutes ago with Red Caps.
But you know, there is no real restriction with this. I mean, like, with the Setites, you need to be like so devout into the cult of the Setites in order to be embraced, or you just get like an automatic embrace if you're Egyptian. But this is all as a human meritocracy before you get embraced into the Assamites.
But
Yeah,
that's another reason I like them so much, because of how meritocratic they are.
it's like they're very similar to the Fenris in a way.
Yeah,
When you look at them.
yeah.
Yeah, but they also take similar to Silent Strider with their techniques.
It's that
It's
this this
Perfect
really is an awesome
combination
plan.
of Get and Silent
Yeah.
Striders.
They have the strength of the Get, but the discipline of the Silent Striders.
See, and there's like one or two other bloodlines of Assamite we can bring up now. We had the Bedouins, who are named after like the actual tribe, where they swap out one of their disciplines for animalism instead. It doesn't specify which one it is while I'm looking at it, but if I were to assume, I'd probably swap out yeah, I'd probably swap out that with animalism. And next up is the courtiers, who are the viziers of the Byzantine Empire, that upon learning that you need to play a politics game, end up swapping out their obfuscate for presents.
That's kind of neat, actually.
There we go. The bloodline system was pretty good, and then 5th edition got rid of it for some fucking reason. But
I mean,
yeah.
it was brought back with the Hekata, but like,
yeah, then it came back and it was the same, but it was also not the same, and I'm still miffed about it. Ugh.
I mean, if I could say about, because there's something else about like what tribe we are going to pair with this clan.
Yeah.
Well,
And you're going to say something, or should I go into mixing splats?
oh, making splats, right?
I think it's time to mix.
I also have one thing for that.
Oh yeah.
All right. So when your thing comes up, bring it up. And with Werewolf the Apocalypse, I think we can see where this is going.
Yeah.
We brought before that the awesome
But
match between Wendigo and Banu
Wendigo
Haqim.
Wendigo also, I wanted to add something, and for me, and
All right, tell me.
I'm with a little bit of elaborate. Wendigo also like hunters, etc., but they're also religious, like
Yes.
Banu Haqim and Assamites, towards the spirits, and you could see like with a build who actually have 2 points in etiquette, so he is very, very like respectful towards spirit and the Pure Landers. Everyone else, no, just simply no. But with mixing spot with werewolves, you said in the video of like pre-made characters, like archetypes, there was a Wendigo bodyguard.
Security guard, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought for Assamite, how to combine them? What if Banu Haqim or Assamite have hit? They have to kill somebody, so they infiltrate the building, uh, taking the job of the night guard. And they have night guards, and their body is the guy who they share the shift with is Wendigo, also infiltrates the building. And turns out this building is a factory for Avon toys, and you like freaking FNAF or Poppy Playtime with Wendigo and Banu Haqim, and they must team up to like freaking go away and kill the targets.
That's
So
pretty
like
fucking
there's
tight.
there's truce between them now, but when they see the target, like, okay, who's killing who, right?
Yeah,
But
I
like
like that
the
idea.
FNAF Poppy Playtime and like smash them together, and like they hate each other, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know who they really are at the first, right?
Hmm.
Because, like we said, Wendigo cannot sense the worm, and like Banu Haqim don't have very much like knowledge about the Lupins. They're like, if you see one, go away, right?
Yes.
But they don't know like if they can call like they can't recognize like, oh, this is werewolf, this is not.
Yes.
So it's like there's like first chicken game, then like first battle begins, and they show the real skills. Like they have to work together to kill that one guy.
And you'd have a lot of fun contrast between the ice and fire powers between the two.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
ice,
fucking
fire
sick.
powers, blood powers, and you have to fight freaking
Fomori,
some
hit
Fomori
marks.
Play-Doh. Fomori Play-Doh. In the Avalon Toy Company.
We clearly labeled non-toxic on the Play-Doh.
Yep. I don't think they mean that cheat. That's not FDA approved.
It's only a 20% margin of error.
That will be fine.
Yeah, so that's why for Werewolf, it's like this could be it. If
I
someone
do,
has idea, go on.
I do like that, and you've got a fun relationship between them and the Shadow Lords too, because the minute the Shadow Lords start paying them with KGB money, and all the fun assassinations you get to see against Pentex boards, because like Pentex knows what a werewolf looks like by this point when they're trying to infiltrate, so we'll send an Assamite in, and behold, now we're getting a leg up on the worm again.
It's like Shadow Lord pulling up to like to the location that doesn't send him with barrels of rubles, and like, okay,
Yeah,
I have a deal. I come to bargain.
I feel
So
like you could throw a Silent Strider in there as well, like a what are the ones where they're always bringing news of like impending doom?
Harbingers.
Yeah, like how would I fit that in there?
Yeah.
Like a Harbinger
also
has to in an odd turn has to warn an Assamite that the Shadow Lords are using him for something. And you might think that this is just a routine payment. It's like, no, you are actively helping them, descend further. You need to stop what you're doing. And then that's an odd conflict for the Assamite. It's like, I can't trust this Garrow, and I also need to do my job. But what is it that he's worried about the people who's paying me doing? Is that going to violate another thing? That'd be a neat moral quandary for the Assamite.
And also Silent Strider Assamites. They would an Assamite will kill Setite on sight. So in the Egypt, like Silent Strider must go away, and like Banu Haqim comes in, and they like there is this meme from Umbrella Academy, like they facing each other in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
They like see each other, and they like look in the distance, and there is freaking Setite. They team up and kill the Setite.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be good. I like that.
Yeah.
And for two vampire versus werewolf ideas, the vengeance part of their law. You know who ran the Byzantine Empire hands off for a little while? Silent Strider? No, the Surfangs.
Silverfangs.
Yep. The Surfangs had a hand in the Byzantine Empire. So and Assamite walks up and says, "It's time to pay for the sins of your father."
Well,
And
yes, and it will do perfectly because Leia, from the ages old, like the Naga could like say, not personally, like but they hint like, oh, the Banu Haqim killed the Silver Fang from the old time ago, not us, right?
yeah, it'll be, and it's
So
certainly the
another
same person
feud could be,
because like reincarnation.
Yeah.
yeah,
It could be like the fucking Assamite comes up to the Silver Fang and it's like, your father killed my sire and now you must die. Do you realize how little that narrows it down?
and,
And
I don't know any name, but like my name is Nico Montoya. You killed my
Yeah.
father. Prepare to die.
Basically, yes. Comes the Princess Bride.
Yeah.
one more with a fair breed, the Ratkin.
Why?
The rats-
They
the
would
ra-
hate each other. They would
Yeah.
hate each other. So
The
much.
rats want to end all of humanity, and the Banu Haqim and Assamites want to preserve it. So,
Yeah.
the minute you find out that there's rats that are trying to blow up the Middle East, send in the Assamites to handle that.
They might just
Yeah,
do that
'cause-
out of principle.
Yeah,
I mean, we now know on who Ratkin voted.
Well,
there we
that
go.
might actually go down a neat rabbit hole because I was rereading my notes for the Fomori, and an Assamite fighting a Hollow One. That'd be a scary encounter.
Yes. We also got a fun thing. I now remember what I was going to say. One of like the dumb fun things about World of Darkness is that there's a World of Darkness wrestling circuit in one of the books.
Is there actually?
Yeah, and the champion is El Diablo Verde, who is a Nosferatu luchador in it.
Oh,
A
yeah.
Nosferatu. Oh, that's
You're
funny as
right.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
Because
And-
I read
and he's-
second edition and he was there.
Yeah, and he's got the mask on, so nobody can tell he's a Nosferatu. And on top of that, they have like a Bane infected Balam as a wrestler too. The Were Jaguars, but there's a wrestling tag team that is a parody of like I think it's the Rock and Roll Express is what they're a parody of, or the Gangstas from ECW, and it's a pair of Assamite wrestlers that go in and they're the tag team champions.
Well, I mean, Brotherhood's one of their keystone beliefs, so that makes
Yeah.
sense.
You got two clans that are going to work together. That's it. Assamites and Assamites.
Is that wrestling league sponsored by King Breweries? Because I think I need to investigate.
It'd be very fun. I mean, that sounds evil as shit. I mean, like it probably is like a parody of like the ECW, which had no chill whatsoever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't give a fuck if this fat piece of shit dies.
Yeah. What was
Yeah.
who was the name of the dude that would literally like try to kill people?
New Jack,
Yeah, New Jack. Who would be
Yeah,
New Jack then?
who I am using as a reference for my Wendigo character when we get to your game.
I feel like New Jack would have to be a Bruja.
Before the match, I went to a pawn shop and bought a stun gun.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
And he's smiling when he says that story.
He's having the time of his goddamn life. That man's a fucking nut job.
Yeah, he died in 2021, so
Yeah, what did he die of?
just age.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
And next up, Mage.
They mentioned that like certain mages know of the Assamites, and if they're useful, you should embrace them.
The Euthanatos.
Yeah.
I don't think the
Euthanatos.
Assamites necessarily understand that embracing somebody kills their avatar.
Yeah, because
I think there are because there is a mage among them who got turned.
yeah, you got Al Schwad who's doing all right for himself. He's missing an eye, he's missing an arm, he's missing his magic, he's missing his ascent into heaven, but he's doing okay.
Yeah, but he's not as good. If he would have just like if the other Assamites had just left
Ghoul-
him the fuck alone, they
Ha-
could
had
have
ghouled
found
him.
what?
I ghouled him instead.
Yeah, if you would have ghouled
Yeah.
him and just like let him work on his experiments, you guys would have broken the fucking Tremere curse centuries ago.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, but also it's like it was more, I think it was more like the reflex self-defense, not like like they really want to kill him. Like, oh fuck, there's like we feel like magic from this guy, and he's like near our leader. He could do something to him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The 15th Assamite jump him, and he's like, holy crap, vampires are gonna attack me and kill me. And it's like self-defense, reflex, muscle memory, and opens the spell he always uses, which is the beam of light, and kills them.
Yep.
He immediately starts with the Master Spark.
Basically.
See,
Zed of Lead!
going down the line. Akashic Brotherhood, that's religious, that's out. Celestial Chorus, if they're Islamic, absolutely. If they're Jewish, I was prepared to say that the Assamites hate Jews, and the Assamites themselves do, but the Banu Haqim don't. And there
I think
are...
Assamites don't hate like mortal religious groups.
Yeah, because there are Jewish and Israeli members of the Banu Haqim, to my surprise.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, they all to Assamites, not Banu Haqim, to Assamites.
Yeah.
All mortals should be saved no matter what their religion is.
Yeah.
Right? From the evil of Cain's get.
Right. And so Cult of Ecstasy, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No,
No,
that's
get those
haram.
drugs out of your hand.
That's some haram right there.
You remember like the video that the massive like drug burnings they do, and they were trying to report on it, and they get high off the secondhand smoke.
That's funny as shit.
The Dream Speakers,
They are with Octana right now.
they tend are have monopolized the Dream Speakers, so I don't think they have anything to do with them either in Africa. Who else is next? The Hermetics. I swear we're missing history with Hermetics. Yeah, there could be a story here because you have House Janissary in the Order of Hermes, which is a group of assassins based in the Middle East. Behold, the story writes itself.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking neat.
Maybe they competent on the market, or they like they fuse, you know.
And who's next? Sons of Ether. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
As an enemy.
It's human advancement.
That's true.
Virtual adepts. Tentative. Yes, I think they'd be okay with it, but they wouldn't be ready to get behind it.
If you had a Hakim who was a gamester archetype and then worked with a virtual adept in order to get information on the target, then maybe.
Yes, all of you climb inside this computer while we go and handle the vampire threat.
Holy crap! I just imagine Hakim like, okay, children, I'm going to the slumber. He goes to his basement, like powers up his PS2 and starts playing.
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
See,
Yeah,
behold, like remote-controlled assassins controlled with a controller.
Yeah, and he plays Hitman.
Except then when he kills the target, the TV explodes and shoots glass into his eyes.
That's the premise of Super Hot.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Super Hot's such a fun game.
Next up, the Verbena.
I don't think so. Maybe as an enemy, but not as enemy.
Yeah, because the Verbena do like a lot of shit that they're not okay with.
Yep.
Oh.
Infant sacrifices for starters.
Probably not. No.
Okay, what fraction gun doesn't do that?
Yeah.
Except Assamite.
Yeah, they're just having a good old time at Bohemian Grove. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The technocracy as a whole.
I think they would be neutral for them. Like, they don't benefit to humanity, but also they trying to like take control over humanity.
Yeah, they're trying to kill vampires too, and the Assamites are perfectly okay with dying out in order to make this pro-human future. But I don't think they'd be okay with all the methods because the Syndicate especially and the New World Order, I can see them having issues with.
Well, yeah, because at that point, it wouldn't really be human advancement. It'd be human stagnation.
Yeah.
The New World Order would basically be putting all of humanity into a giant steel cage.
Yeah, and Iteration X.
With void engineers. Like, the Assamite die, healed so much for this, for this planet, for these people, and that void engineers just flew by and just forget about the Earth, forget about history, forget about their sacrifice.
Yeah, we're just gonna fly all the way into space and forget about the world you're trying to make for us. And then the progenitors are trying to cure. You know what? Now that we've talked about the technocracy, I don't think they would. I don't think they would support it. Now, after like looking into the technocracy,
I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's like natural. It's like we don't support it, but like we don't gonna actively kill you.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly
And
that.
we're not gonna actively try to join our ranks.
Yeah, I mean, after all, they're keeping the other traditions down that they don't agree with. And speaking of other traditions than Afandi,
Hell no.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I remember the Lafandi, and they are no good. They are just simple vampires without blood.
Yeah, they also spent like how many years fighting the Bali, and only to see wizards doing the same shit that the Bali did.
Yeah,
they're like, wow, we just wasted our fucking time.
Yes. Let's see, the Marauders. I don't think the Banu Haqim would ever want to mess with a Marauder.
Probably not.
Yeah, given that you get your power from insanity, along with that that point in Sharia law about leaving the mentally ill alone. So yeah, don't fuck with the Marauder when you see it. Rates, they don't have any interest in rates. I can see the Grim Legion getting pissed as hell about them, but
also there was like said that like they're gonna talk with ghosts for information at like very rare occasions. So
a very rare occasion you meet the soul of a man you killed on a hit.
Yeah, like okay, so how was the review of the assassination?
Yes.
From star 1 to 5.
You leave a Yelp review for an Assamite.
Yeah, I've got the man here that I killed. He can tell you how it went.
Well,
Changeling the Dreaming.
Red Cats maybe, but everything like.
Yeah, I think Trolls 2 would be the other one they'd talk to.
Yeah, Trolls are virtuous enough where they would sort of get along.
Yeah.
I would say that us might talk to Trolls, but the Red Caps talk to them.
Yeah.
And they would love to tell the issue to get bent. Get out of here, you're interrupting the assassination.
Well, I mean, like, what if the issue are storytellers? What if they carry some good information or some worldly advice about the formation of their faith?
The issue are also delicious.
That is true. I mean, all fairies are.
Yes. Same with all these alleged Egyptian puka gods. And
well, I mean, they don't believe in them anyway.
Lastly, Demon the Fallen. See, Demon of Fallen. Luciferian. Yeah,
simple, but very different.
I bet that'll give them a shock if it turns out their whole modus operandi is the same ambition as the devil.
that would probably lead to a widespread
with Assamite was like okay, shock, weak of thinking, and with Banu Haqim they would completely collapse.
This is not the future Hakim asked for, but I think that would also strengthen the conviction by saying we're not going to let the devil try to take this over. So we're going to all turn against Lucifer and try to expel the demon once and for all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cryptics, there's nothing the Banu Haqim are looking to learn, so the cryptics have got nothing for them. Faustians, the Assamites just want money, and they can just get money by making the contract. And in terms of what other things they have, the Assamites don't really want to leave the Middle East. They like it there. So I can see them resisting a Faustian. Reconciler, you're not human. Even though you love humanity, you gotta get out of here. And a Ravager, absolutely not.
No. So nothing for demons.
And of course, we have the fun situation with humans earlier in the episode. And
yeah.
And that's it, really.
Yeah. The Assamites are based. Play the Assamites.
Yeah. Rapred, you got any ideas?
For what?
To say closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, Manufik is a bitch. Kane would lose. I'm gonna quote the One Piece. If it's one-on-one, always bet on Assamite.
Yeah.
And there we have it. I'd like to put $5,000 down on Hakim winning the World of Darkness.
I am hoping that Ramirez makes it to New York. I miss him.
And there we go.
Yeah, it's fucking 11:30. I'm tired and I gotta take the garbage out.
Yeah, let's pull the plug here.
All right, good night, everybody.
All right, GM.